Like, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Whoa!
We're here.
Oh, shit!
I like how, no.
Listen, I have been holding on to this
For all 30 seconds.
I'm dying.
Welcome to the 5th podcast of What's the YA?
Yeah.
The first time we've ever done, like, an actual proper intro.
Woo!
5th time's a charm. We did it.
So, how did everyone like the book? Well, what is the book that we're reading? That's a better question.
Let's start with that. We're reading To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. There you go. Yeah. I was like, I can't look at that, so I'll look on the screen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the cover's really pretty.
Yeah, I love the
whatnot.
cover. It's really pretty. It's another, I think The Wicked Deep and this book are very similar. So it's like another one of the Fallen Hush Hush situations where we read two books that are very similar. Both of them have beautiful covers. Both of them are both about water.
Uh-huh.
There's a boy.
There's a boy in all of them.
Good.
Exactly. But no, I just felt like there was a lot of, like, a person pretending to be something they aren't is in there as well.
Yep.
So I feel like there's a lot of similarities.
Storylines were quite similar.
Yeah.
Like, generally.
They were, like, different but similar. They had a running theme together.
So, who wants to read the description?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I don't have it up yet.
Not I.
Not
I
you?
did it last.
Not I, not you.
Not I.
Not I.
Why'd you get Brittany?
Light.
Light is good.
I guess I'll read it.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay. Princess Lyra is siren royalty and the most lethal of them all. With the hearts of 17 princes in her collection, she is revered across the sea, until a twist of fate forces her to kill one of her own. To punish her daughter, the Sea Queen transforms Lyra into the one thing they loathe most, a human. Robbed of her song, Lyra has until the winter solstice to deliver Prince Elian's heart to the Sea Queen or remain a human forever. The ocean is the only place Prince Elian calls home, even though he is heir to the most powerful kingdom in the world. Hunting sirens is more than an unsavory hobby, it's his calling. When he rescues a drowning woman in the ocean, she is more than what she appears. She promises to help him find the key to destroying all of the siren kind for good. But can he trust her? And just how many deals will Ilian have to barter to eliminate mankind's greatest enemy?
I really like Ilian.
Yeah, Ilian.
I think he's a really great character.
Yeah, Ilian was great.
Also,
I
what
loved
is
his
the
chapters.
where it says a twist of fate makes her kill her own kind, and that's what made her mother? Did
Well,
I miss something?
It was the part where she kills the mermaid, because the mermaid was trying to drown Ilian.
Okay, I got you.
So even though, like, she went there to take Ilian's...
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was another siren, and I was like, she did that after.
No, because mermaids are a part of their
right.
kingdom. But yeah, it's like when I read the summary, I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, right, the mermaid,
Yeah,
right.
that's what it was.
That thing.
Not
We were...
finding.
I mentioned it when we were setting up before you got here, but I loved the difference between the sirens and the mermaids.
Yes, they're
And
so
then
cool.
also...
Beautiful, and mermaids
They're
are
like-
fish.
Yeah, and then the mermen
They're
are like...
fucking fish. They're monsters.
Yeah.
Mermen are monsters.
The
fly eater.
the concept for mermen was like so cool too. I was like, this is dope. I like
It was
this.
so different
Yeah.
than what
It's normal.
we as women think that mermaids are.
Yeah, which
Growing
is
up with little fucking
because like I
mermaids,
imagined
and
when they
not.
the first time you meet a mermaid and like Lyra is like, oh, it was like weird. I thought of those like water creatures in the Goblet of Fire that
Me
like
too,
are,
yes.
like yeah, at least instantly thought of those. I was like, perfect,
Like
yes,
fish people mermaids.
basically. And then the sirens were like more like Ariel and like the Little Mermaid
Yeah.
style. And then mermen were just fucked. Like, just
Which kind of sucks for the girls.
yeah. A
They're
little
just
bit.
there for guarding and breeding.
It's a little weird. And terrifying. Like my image of the flesh eater is terrifying.
Oh my god. Like the end with everything that was happening, I was just imagining like this weird. Oh my god.
Well, we get to the end.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, should we talk about we go through basically the summary of the book before we
Well,
get...
what is everyone's initial feeling
right.
about it?
All right. Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna be straight up. I didn't finish the book. I had a lot of shit going on. Life happened.
Yeah.
But as far as I got into it, it took me a while to get into it, honestly. And I really like the whole different point of views crap that books do. But
that shit.
The crap that they fucking do. But I couldn't really get into the character. And I'm not quite sure why I couldn't, but like a little bit, like halfway through the book, I was interested in what they were doing, the whole adventure. And I think that's why, because like they were just kind of like, it was backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was finally like, we have a task and this is where the story is going. So I think that's probably
the actual, like,
why
quest doesn't begin until almost halfway through.
Right. And that's when I was interested. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go on this fucking boat.
There's a lot of build up where, and I think once Ilian and Lyra do like get to be together, like in the story,
right.
I think that's where the story starts to shine.
Exactly.
Because like at the beginning, they're separate. So like you get bits of their personality and you kind of get to know the characters, which is a good setup.
And you can kind of see like a bit of like each other's world, but it's not like they're together.
Yeah. But once they're together, because their personalities are so interesting together. So I think
so cute.
Yeah, they're so cute. They're so cute. But yeah, that's when, because like there's a lot of build up. Because I think you like for a story like this, I think you needed X amount of build up anyway, no matter what.
For sure.
There's obviously
a lot of world building and stuff.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot different than the other books we read because of like it was in a completely different world. And I know like Willow was weird, but it was also like it was a town in fucking Wyoming or Washington or wherever. Where was it? Oregon. Oregon. It was in Oregon. But this was like there were so many weird countries and words, and I'm like, I don't even know how to pronounce this crap. I'm gonna just that's a word. Skip it.
Rakadagalos. All right, moving on.
When I read words that I don't know how to pronounce, I'm like, just keep going. I was like, but then because of that, there's no like solid word in my head for that thing.
Yeah,
so when it's mentioned again later, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I listened to the book again. Because, I didn't finish it until this morning, so it's fresh in my head. So you're not the only one who had a busy life this month. I know, Brittany, you moved, so like
I'm in a new room.
That was
house?
And she has a house now, so it's just, she was dealing with stuff, I was dealing with my own shit, just a lot of shit happened this month. But I finished it this morning, and I do, like, I didn't have issue with pronouncing things because someone read it to me, so I was like, whatever, I'm gonna assume that your pronunciation is correct. And like, I enjoyed this book very thoroughly. It was very good. Like, even though I think for like if you're reading it, the build up seems longer, like the backstory.
Yeah.
But since it was being read to me, like it flowed very nicely. So like the way it moved was much nicer.
So audiobook.
Yeah, audiobook. Audible, do you want to sponsor us?
We're only 5 podcasts in, but hey.
Yeah. So we get maybe 10 viewers.
I feel like that would be a conflict of interest for me, considering that is Amazon's audio.
You don't have to tell your boss or anybody. Whatever, it's fine.
No.
Me and Brittany will keep the money.
It'll go towards the podcast.
Yeah, whatever, it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, we need a new mic, apparently.
Yeah.
We get new headphones?
Yeah, I just need to get an earphone splitter. That's what I need to do. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this book a lot. Like, a lot. I think Lyra as a character is so well, like, developed. She has, like, this entire backstory, and you learn about a lot of it, but she's such a well-rounded character who speaks, a different language, and it's cool, and it's interesting.
Yeah, I would love to hear that through the Audible.
It was really cool. It was real
Because I'm like,
cool.
over here, like, that's what...
To kill
Yeah, no, it was...
Kikia.
Because, like, obviously, like, because this book, it has 2 point of views, and it has Ilian's and Lyra's point of view, there's 2 narrators for this book on Audible, a guy and a girl. And I have a feeling they had a meeting before they sat down and, like, how would you pronounce this? And, like, what voice are you going to be doing for this character so that I could kind of match that voice?
Yep.
Like, the guy who did Ilian, his, like, old man voice for his dad is... it's so good. Okay. He's like, yes, don't do that, son. I was like, this is amazing. So yeah, like I just feel like when you have one reader, it's like that's fine. I can just do whatever I want. But when you have two, it's like you have to coordinate.
There's a meeting. There's lots of meetings. Probably listening to each other's recordings constantly.
But yeah, like the girl who did the narration for Lyra, her like accent that she did for like when she was like the way she spoke the other language was like harsh and really like very bitter sounding basically, and I was like, this is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I fucking love this book. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, me too. I really liked it.
Finally! It's a miracle!
Out of all the books we've done, this is like a good one.
Yeah.
So that's what I will say.
Found a good one.
One good one.
Good one.
So far. So far,
So
guys.
far. Next month we're reading the first 4 series and Fortune Events books, so there's got to be at least one in there that you're gonna
Those will be
like.
fine. I love those books.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, do you want to say anything more about other? I liked it.
Okay. Did anyone else see? I mean, the Little Mermaid tropey things were like obvious, but then like her name is Ariel backwards without the E.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I was like,
I imagine if I saw it, I would be like,
and then,
no, I didn't.
And then like Alien starts with the E, like Prince Eric.
Yeah, no, I definitely. She has like reddish hair.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. She looks like the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, she's blue eyes. Yeah, like no, I definitely
except her tail's a different color, but whatever.
Yeah, I definitely saw the similarities. Obviously, I feel like there was no way I feel like this was like set up to be like a different take on the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Like they even have like the seafoam bit, which is a part of the original Little Mermaid story by Hans Christensen. So like they're obviously taking inspiration. Alexandria obviously took inspiration from that. Or Alexandria? Yeah, Alexandra.
What's her name? No.
Alexandra Christo.
We're gonna call it Cristo. Cristo. Cause yeah, like it, like I don't think there was any way that there wasn't, and I think every mermaid book I've ever read, I've been like, oh, that's just like Little Mermaid, because
that's the most prominent mermaid.
Yeah.
Hi.
What is any other popular mermaid? Anything?
Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea.
That was bull. That was just a whole load of crap.
And then the third one, which I've never even seen.
It's awful.
Is that the one with the kid? No, that's the second one.
No, there's third one where you go into Ariel's past and you get to meet her mother.
Why?
Exactly.
What is the point of that?
Because Disney.
It's money! Because they are a company, after all. Anyway, we're not talking about The Little Mermaid, we're talking about To Kill a Kingdom.
Which was awesome.
I really like the name of it, too.
Same, I really like it. It's good.
Yeah, it fits both of their perspectives. It fits everything. It's so great.
Yeah. It's good.
Alright, tell me what happened at the end.
Well,
we have to go through the whole thing. So you tell us the beginning.
Okay.
Do you
We'll
remember the beginning?
One time. I mean, again, I read most of this book yesterday.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then
well
I
that's
didn't
good.
finish it. So, well, I read the first couple chapters like on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Beginning of the story. I'm really bad at storytelling. Lyra.
Yeah. Lyra. Oh, Lyra takes her
siren.
sister or her
Cousin.
cousin.
She's practically her sister.
Yeah,
her little
basically.
sister.
Lyra's 17. Cousin. She's supposed to be 18, but her birthday isn't for a couple of weeks. Her cousin.
Does her birthday happen during the journey?
It must.
It must have happened on the journey. It had to have happened on the journey. I think other shit was happening, so maybe she was just like, who cares?
They don't care about birthdays unless it's like marked by taking a heart, so.
Yeah, right. But her cousin, her young cousin, who is turning 15, for her birthday, it has to go get a heart. So the lore for these mermaids is that they're sirens. They're sirens. Excuse me. Sorry, that's probably gonna happen for most of this explanation. They're sirens, and their creator, Keto.
Okay.
The
keto diet.
The keto diet.
That's what every time I saw that word, I was like, are they on a diet? What's happening?
Keto.
She was like the first time. I don't remember specifically what happened because this was a while ago that I really.
Okay, so they're going up to a ship, and then...
No, I know that part. I'm talking about like keto specifically.
The keto legend.
The keto legend.
Oh, the legend. I can't
I know
remember.
there was a war of some kind, and then some humans killed the shit out of her.
Well, it was like the what are they called? Not the originals.
Yeah, I was gonna say original too.
I don't think
The
it was the originals. It started with an O, didn't it?
The OGs.
Ancient.
Something like that. But it was like the first 100
Kill him.
that they eventually built the first. They built the 100 kingdoms, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
And they had magic, and then Keto had magic, and there was that war. For some
There was a
reason.
war. Some kind of
War.
I
There was
don't
a war just
remember.
because there
But
was a war
sirens
because
used
they
to be able to
land.
go on land.
Yeah.
And the sea. So part of like the treaty was that they would stay in the ocean and humans would stay on land, and that would be that. But of course, no.
Yeah, I guess maybe like one of them lured a man. I don't fucking remember at all. But basically, there was a war, and then Keto was killed, and then they took her eyes.
One eye.
One eye. The humans took one eye, and the remaining eye was left to the sirens, and was put into their trident. And the trident is passed to the queen.
Trident was made of her bones.
Yeah.
Keto's bones.
Of all that was left of Keto that they had, they used.
They
Lovely.
recycle.
They recycle. They're great.
Hey,
They're
in
on
the ocean,
diets. They
have to.
recycle. They're great.
But yeah, so they used Keto's bones and her remaining eye that they had to make the trident, and the trident is given to the queen of the sirens whenever it's passed down, which the queen changes every 60 hearts. So every 60 years there's a new queen. There's no like when they die or whatever. It's after your 60th heart, you retire, goodbye.
After you become the queen, you're not like a pretty fucking
You-
siren.
you turn into
this weird octopus.
You turn into an
looking
octopus.
thing.
You basically turn into Ursula. But
That-
like,
yeah, that's exactly what I was picturing.
I
too.
imagined
I'm
it's like a
Ursula.
more attractive version of Ursula.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But
Like
like,
a cool head thing.
yeah, absolutely. And like just like this cool
Like tattoos
body
everywhere that
rings.
glow.
Yeah. Just like
So
a
cool.
really like if
Cool.
Ursula wasn't
Lame.
horrendously
In comparison.
comparison. And like I imagine her huge, like Kraken sized, basically. Like I saw her as gigantic. But like that basically spawned the sirens, and so now there's sirens,
And mermaids and
mermaids,
mermen.
and mermen.
But they're like lower.
Yeah, they're low tier.
I don't know.
But
It's weird.
that's the legend basically. So sirens have to every year on their birthday they have to take someone's heart, and the hearts give them power.
They don't have to.
Well, the queen tells them they have.
Their
to.
queen tells
them.
Yeah,
um,
but they're loyal to their queen.
because
That's
she's
all they know.
scary as fuck.
Yeah, and she'll fucking murder you.
So every year on their birthday
I have
they
a
have to
point
get
about that too.
yeah they get
I have to write that down.
right that quickly, don't forget the point. They have to get a heart, and it's like I can't remember how Lyra describes it, but it's like in thanks for what Keto gave them or something like that, whatever. But basically every year on the week of their birth or the day of their birth, within that time frame,
Their
they get a
birthday.
birthday.
It's not on the day.
I thought it was like the week of the birth.
I thought it was the year of. Like,
No.
it just in that year you take one?
No,
because
because
she
then,
got in trouble for doing it 2 weeks early.
Yeah, because I meant like you have from this birthday to your next birthday to get it. Not like the actual
No,
like,
my
January.
understanding was that it was like either the week of or the day of your birthday, because like
I mean that makes more sense.
Because she takes the Legend of the Princess Bane is that she takes it on the same day every year.
Same month. I thought they said the same month.
So well, yeah, it's like the same time of year.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's like
Let's just pretend it's month.
it's the
That's-
month.
well,
Okay.
Well, then even then, if her birthday wasn't 2 weeks, if it wasn't until like another 2 weeks after, what's her cousin's name?
Kalia?
Kalia, right?
Kali.
Because
Kalia?
it was Kalia's birthday, and then 2 weeks
That's
later
how
it was
I was
supposed to be
pronouncing
it was supposed to be
It's fucking weird. Lyra.
Lyra's birthday. So I'm assuming it's got to be the week of their birthday, because if it was 2 weeks prior, I don't know if the month was almost over to make it like the month of, but I have a feeling it's the week of their birthday.
Okay.
Let's just, for the sake
It's
of
just
argument-
around their birthday.
for the sake of argument, we'll say the week of their birthday they have to get a heart from a thing,
From a thing.
a person preferably.
A person, yes, not a thing.
Just
specifically.
people
In general,
Just from turtles, that's fine.
but
baby heart.
little baby heart. So Lyra's taking Kalia to get a prince's heart, because she's never had a prince's heart, and Lyra only ever has prince's heart. Wow, that was difficult for me to say.
So not princesses, princes.
Princes, which gives Lyra the name of, like, given her the moniker of the Prince's Bane, because every year a prince dies, because...
Fucked up is that?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
First one was only 12.
Yeah,
that was just so sad.
Yeah, and like until you're 12, your mother will hunt for you, and then they'll give you the heart. So obviously, since Lyra is the princess and Sea Queen is like, my child ain't gonna have no shitty ass sailor heart, prince heart. So from the day she was born, she's been having prince hearts just given to her.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom.
Well, they don't eat them.
I know, but
I was like,
I'm kind of mad they don't eat them.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, too. I was like, oh, I wish
They fucking bury them. Like,
yeah. Fuck
Just keep
you.
them.
And like the thing is, it was weird because they say like in the beginning they were like, people can steal the hearts.
Yeah.
But like that's also how they keep track of how old they are. So like when like the queen lady, like well, first of all, if somebody stole from her, you're already fucked. But I mean,
Yeah,
like
don't steal from the
like she has to have 60 hearts buried somewhere in her floor, like
in her sand floor. Totally. Yeah. So
just one row.
it's just one row of 60 hearts.
A long row.
So Kalia is getting a prince heart for the first time. So they like come out of the water and they sing their song, their siren song. I don't know if people watching know anything about sirens, but sirens sing a song. It's very alluring to men, but in this lore, it's both alluring to men and women. So
It's just a luring song.
yeah, it's just a luring song of some kind. But it is shown later on that you can have like a subtle version of the song where it just lulls them to sleep.
Yeah, which is
And I like incapacitate them basically, and then there's like the other version of the song, which is like, fucking come to me so I can drag you underwater and eat your heart. Not eat your heart, but take your heart.
Rip it out.
Your heart.
Spit out.
Just whatever. So they come out of the water, they start singing, and like immediately, it's like immediate. The prince on a boat that's passing by is like, my love, and just like dives into the water.
It's like, mother, do you hear that? She's like, matter of fact, I fucking do.
Dude, and the queen is just like, boom, I'm going in with you. So
we get some fucking hearts.
yeah, we get some fucking hearts. So Kalia grabs the queen, Lyra grabs the prince, and the prince is like drowning in her arms, is being pulled into the waters, and she's like looking at him, and like she's not supposed to take his heart because it's not her birth week yet, so she's not supposed to, but she does anyway because the dude is dying, and so
Kira's
Lyra's fucked up.
Lyra, not Kira.
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 Shakira. Her hips don't lie. She's a siren. It's fine. It's fine. Like,
anyways,
it's like, I remember like this part because I was listening to it at work, and this like the ending of that chapter happens, and I was just like, what? And so like, basically Lyra, like, her like jaw unhinges and she just screams and then plunges her hand into his chest to take their heart, and I was just like, and then it was like chapter 2, and I was like, what the fuck? So that's how it starts, and I was just like, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, glad this is good. I wish it wasn't right now.
I think in those first 2 chapters, I think it made me hesitate reading it too, because it's like, how is she gonna come back from this? Like, they don't mention any of her like upbringing yet, as far as like why she's doing what she's doing. So it's like, you just see a monster. Like, there's no emotions at all.
There's no person who wants to be. This is when you know that it's not the Little Mermaid, but it follows a theme of the Little Mermaid. Yes. So like, I think this is a great way to like be like, we're like sirens, we're different, and like, and look how fucking different. Like, it's like a subtle difference, and
we're not
like
fucking mermaids.
Yeah, well, like, it's like they like that chapter is a great build up, because it's just like, this is the lore of the sirens, and this is what we do, and this is what happened, and then at the end you fucking see her do it.
You
and
actually see her actually do something, yeah.
Yeah, and it's terrifying, and you're just like, okay, so this isn't the Little Mermaid, and so that way when the Little Mermaid tropes start to happen, you're like, okay, here it goes, but by that point it feels like a different story.
Right.
Even though the tropes are there. Because, like, it's a totally different person who you see is not a person who desires to be human at all, but becomes human and falls in love with a human, like the normal way that you should fall in love with a human, by getting to know them,
Right.
spending time with them.
Yeah, that was
Right.
the other thing I liked, is that they knew each other for a very long time, and it was gradual.
Yeah.
It made sense.
I was
Right.
Romance takes time.
like, this is skipping ahead a lot, but like when they had their first kiss, I was in my kitchen making breakfast, and I just stopped, and I was like, what is happening?
I didn't get there.
It's so cute. But I was like making breakfast, and then it was just like, why won't you kiss me? And I was like, what?
And that was such a good moment too, because she's like she wants to like admit everything, and she says that instead.
And yeah, I just like stopped. I was just like standing in the middle of my kitchen staring at nothing, and I was like, if anybody lived with me and just like
Be like, Jeanette just malfunctioned.
stop.
Yes.
And it's just so, because I was listening to it in my earbuds, because it's easier to listen, because it's obviously going into my ears, so it's louder. So it was just like quiet in the rest of my apartment. And just me standing in the kitchen hearing all of this happen. And I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so that's chapter 1.
That's chapter 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2.
1 and 2. I
and
don't
then
remember
it's
what
Elian.
the chapters
Elian. Elian.
Elian? That's what I
Elian?
was. That's what
Elian?
they were calling
Elian.
him.
Elian,
I think
yeah.
Elian.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Or
like
actually,
him.
I think it was Elliot, because I
Elian?
kept being like Elliot. They're like, no, Elliot, and I was like,
Elian.
Elliot. So I think they pronounced it Elian.
I
think.
like Elian. I don't know.
Elian sounds cooler, but whatever. Who gives a shit? A second chapter, or third chapter. I don't remember the first bit of.
It was literally like, it started with like his knife and how it like drinks
Yeah,
blood.
the first line
And I
was
was
like,
like,
I guess I'm considered a murderer.
That was
It's
the
literally
first line.
Elliot's so cool.
He's like, I'ma just murder this sea bitch right now.
Dude, oh my god, you missed the best line too, because you didn't get to.
Damn
the end.
it!
Like,
I'm still gonna read it.
I know, my favorite line, like fucking the. We'll get to it. It'll get spoiled to you, but the Sea Queen is summoned at the very end, and then there's this big fight that happens. But Elian is there, and then she says something in like the siren like voice, and he's like, "Sorry, I don't speak sea bitch." And I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit!"
So good.
It's so good. I was so happy with that. And like again, I was just in my kitchen, just like, oh shit. And again, if anyone lived with me, it'd just be like, Jen,
You know,
okay, like I'm fine.
I really liked that it was like this kind of steampunky-ish on the human side, and
It's
then
like
it
they
was
had-
like all the underwater stuff, but all the language was very modern.
Very much.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was definitely like I imagined it very steep, because once they brought up the airships, I was like,
Yeah, I
well,
was
that
like,
changes
wait,
my
what?
entire perspective
Yeah.
of what this was like.
Yeah, like those people that invent shit. Like
Yeah.
that whole just island of people who, the only inventors,
Yeah,
they live there.
like nets of lightning and stuff like that. So I was like, okay,
Well, even so, like there were the people in the mountains. They had white skin that was almost blue. They had blue
Yeah,
lips.
yeah,
like
yeah.
if cold was in their blood. Like that doesn't happen.
yeah. So it's definitely like a steampunk fantasy sort of style, which is cool.
With
But
Little
yeah,
Mermaid.
Yeah. So then you meet Elliot, who's our main dude. He's our main guy. He's our bro. He's our romance interest. And there are other protagonists, obviously. He's doing stuff.
At home at sea.
He's at home at sea.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's just they're just out and about, and they
Yeah.
catch a siren, and it foans on the deck. Like that's how you're introduced.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
That's what
he's
happens.
totally a pirate, and then it's like, no, I'm the prince. Dang it.
yeah. And then he, like, because he's more at home at sea. He prefers to be a captain. He doesn't want to be a prince or whatever. So
It reminded
But-
me a lot of Firefly, the dynamics of the crew.
yeah, I love the crew
It was
so
the
much.
best.
Madrid is one of my favorite
It
characters.
took me so long to realize Madrid was a girl.
Oh, really?
Why?
Yeah, and I don't know why. Maybe I was like misreading the pronouns or something, but like I just didn't. I was like Madrid. Like, I mean, it's a place. It's not
No,
a
yeah,
boy
no.
or a girl name. Like
I
I don't know. And then I was like, wait, who's Kai? Wait, who's Toric? Like I was just there was too many people with too many weird names, and I couldn't.
This is why, again, I liked reading, like getting it read to me, because they did different voices for each of the characters.
And then I did when I realized Madrid was a female. I was like, I like reread the line a couple times to make sure. I was like, okay, girl, cool. Okay, girl. Just think girl. And then like her and Kai, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. I loved the part when Lyra was like, isn't he your mate?
Yeah,
She's
that's
like,
so good.
he's my partner. There's a difference. And I was like,
She was like, why are you trying to meddle? And I was just like, Madrid is so cool.
I love her. I love Kai too. I love Tarek too. They were all so good.
Yeah, the crew is really good. I like the dynamic of the crew a lot. But yeah, you meet his like crew. There's actually like more to his crew specifically, but the three main people that you meet are Madrid, Kai, and Torek. Because like later on in the book, when he's when they get to the snowy place, whatever it's called, you said it earlier. Pagos, there it is. Peas. But like,
don't ask me what any other country is called.
Midas.
Yeah,
Midas.
Besides Midas.
I remembered Midas because like, oh, like Midas touch, it's like gold. Whatever. But yeah, so when they get there, the king is like, I'm so glad your crew is much smaller. Like, it's easier to house 100 people versus like an entire battalion. So there's actually more to the crew, but we only ever really see.
Yeah, he split them. Yeah. When he decided to go on this quest, he's like, I only need 100 of you.
Yeah.
Everyone will be welcome back when I return.
Yeah. But yeah, basically everyone else is just like nameless peeps.
Nameless loyal crew.
Yeah. That's their in the cast scroll up, it's like nameless loyal crew, and then it's like all like
it's like 17 names.
It's like they're supposed to be 100, but like we were just gonna put you guys strategically in like different places,
different costumes.
Yeah, it'll work out.
Yeah, we'll get it.
We got this. We're filmmakers. We're experts. No one will know.
No one will know.
No one will ever know.
No one will know. That's what they did with Star Wars. They like had a whole bunch of people just put on costumes and be in scenes. That's like Boba Fett. The guy who plays Boba Fett isn't Boba Fett in like the first couple of because Boba Fett isn't introduced until way later. He's a guard on the Death Stars. Like he's just there. He's just hanging out and just doing stuff. And then later on he's Boba Fett. It's like, what the fuck? Like you don't realize it because you don't know who Boba Fett is, but then you look into his like the cast and you're like, why is a guard Boba Fett? And then there's like this whole Star Wars.
Anyways,
Star Wars. There's other podcasts for that.
Yeah, like another conversation for another time. But yeah, so because Elian is supposed to be king, he's like his father is understanding of his love of the sea, so he lets him go off to do things on the sea, but he's required to come home every once in a while.
That's also why Kai is there, because he's the hired hand.
Yeah, Kai is a hired hand.
But he's also really his friend.
Yeah.
He just takes the money because it's free.
Right. He's like, I get money.
I'm gonna hang out with him anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
I thought it was a really cool tie-in that, like, Elian actually knew the last prince that she killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was, like...
That comes up.
Essentially, like, seeking revenge for him.
Well, that's basically what propels him to, like, start hunting them, is because his friend was killed. And like needs.
That's not what propelled him in the beginning to start hunting them.
Oh, true.
Well, he was interested in it, but then
But then his friend died. He was like, "Well, I gotta kill the Princess Bane
because now I have to save the whole world because my friend is dead."
Yeah,
right.
Because he's a superhero.
He just wants to be a hero. He wants to be a hero. But he goes back home to his castle where he gets to see his sister and his.
Did anyone picture the sister from Black Panther as the sister?
Yeah. Never saw that.
A little bit.
I did like his relationship with his sister, though.
Yeah.
They were beautiful. That's all I was imagining. I was like, they're Black Panther.
I mean, I would love that. Like, I'm fucking into that.
That's kind of how I was imagining them looking, because they'd never really described their skin color. So I was like, it just felt like Black Panther.
Yeah, absolutely.
City, whatever that city's called.
Wakanda.
There you go.
I got you.
It's actually a city around here.
Yeah, we actually live right by it.
I said it's spelled differently.
Yeah, it doesn't have a K, it has a C, but like...
It's like the secret headquarters in the state.
Exactly. Literally, when Black Panther came out, like, Wakanda here, like, just fucking, like, popped on the map for everybody. And they're like, look, this is a place. And we're just like, it's a shitty town. It's not that good.
Like, the town.
That's what the illusion is, though.
Yeah. Just screaming out, like, you guys are named after a thing. It's like, what the fuck is happening? So yeah, that was cool, and it's like a little spot of fame for our neck of the woods. That's it.
Anyway. Spelled different, but hey, we'll take it.
Whatever, we'll take it. Yeah, because the other Wakanda isn't real, so people needed something to cling on to.
For some reason.
For some reason. No, yeah, because I imagined Kai darker skinned, because I'm like, if he's gonna be on a boat, captain in it, he's at least gonna be tan.
Right.
And then he just progressively got like darker skinned as we went along, and I was like, yes, I'm into this. Yes, perfect. I love it. I'm in.
So in.
I'm so in right now. And like because like the voice for the guy, I was like, he has like a lower voice. I was like, yes, I like this picture I have in my head.
It's all coming together.
Yes. Beautiful. I love
He's
it.
17.
I get it. I understand.
He's
I have
19,
a problem.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's 17.
She's 17.
Well, she's technically 18 because she took her 18th heart, but like
In actual years.
naturally, well, like her birthday happens at some
Somewhere
point.
along the line.
Somewhere along the line. So he has to go back home. He has to see his family. They're just like concerned about him. His dad is like, it's dangerous out in the sea. You need to be a king and grumble, grumble. And his wife is like, honey, be nice to your son. He wants to lollygag around the world. And then he's just like, my sister would be way better as ruler because I don't give two shits about this kingdom in any way, shape, or form. And they're like, no, unacceptable, you are there.
And then he leaves. No.
And that's basically that entire conversation, exactly like that, with those voices.
Yeah, it was a whole chapter, and it could have been just that.
Isn't there like a ball or like a banquet that they're having?
They were just throwing, like
Just
a
like
because
his
he
ball.
returned.
Yeah, they're like, let's have a party.
He went for a little bit.
Yeah, just for a bit.
They went to sleep.
And then he went to sleep.
He was like, I'm gonna go to bed.
Good talk, guys.
So
Kelly,
that's what happens with him.
Yeah, that's our introduction to him, which I loved that his intro to him was so badass, and then you realize, like, oh, his life sucks.
Right, like, no wonder.
No wonder he's, like, fucking just miserable, like, and just, like, doesn't want to go back home. He's like, man, that sucks. I feel you, my dude. If I wanted to be on sea all the time, and then my parents were like, no, come back to the land. It's like, fuck, no.
I have to take care of all of the things because you're the eldest. It doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna do it anyway.
It's tradition. Tradition, man.
Is stupid.
No, I agree. But like, ooh,
I know, I'm talking to the parents.
guys, tradition sucks. Break it. It's fine. Whatever.
No one will know.
Yeah.
You're the
Who
king.
cares? You can decide. You can choose to do that. I don't know what happens in the next chapter.
Well then,
My timeline.
We don't have
Lyra
chapter by
gets
know, I'm
punished.
like- My timeline for everything is like so.
Yeah, they're
weird.
still separated. So then
Yeah.
Lyra gets punished.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. They have to go back to the palace after the taking of the hearts, and then everything seems fine at first, and then the Sea Queen is like, "When is your birthday, Lyra?" And she's like,
I thought this one would just count. Hey.
whatever." But apparently it doesn't. Apparently, if you obtain a heart prior to your birthday, it counts as an extra heart or something.
I feel like
that.
it's
Only
just like-
according to her.
Yeah, I was like, I
She's
feel like
making
it's
all
more
these
of
rules up.
a disrespect
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah, no,
queen.
it's absolutely just like a disrespect thing to the queen.
And
but,
she like knows everything.
Yeah.
The Sea Queen lady.
It's terrifying. Because I think she knows
Gives that
anything that happens.
illusion. She doesn't know everything.
I feel like I feel like
everything
she gives,
that happens in the sea.
Yeah, anything that happens
supposedly
in the
they said
water,
she
she
knew.
knows.
I think that's a ruse, though.
It's a
really
ruse. Because she's
bothering
an
me.
idiot. She's actually stupid.
She's just
But-
manipulative.
The Sea Queen is like, you
All
basically
image.
gives. Yeah, so the Sea Queen is like punishing her, and basically says that she has to give her the heart that she took, and I guess like the hearts that they take give them power. So
Yeah.
when you have to give up a heart, it actually feels like it's like
She crashes it.
yeah.
Which, that's not really explained at the end.
No.
Damn it. That's okay.
It never really comes back.
No.
Anyway,
So the Sea Queen
so then
like
she's
crushed.
like, alright,
Yeah.
well you have to go get a simple sailor's heart.
Which is
Which
just
is
That's your
une-
punishment.
It's unacceptable for the Princess
After getting
Bane.
beat up by my
Yeah.
tentacles, too.
Yeah, because they're like her bones get crushed and shit. Also, Kalia almost gets hurt and like fucking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the punishments that Lyria experiences is punishment to other people that she has to witness, or like she is told like you caused this punishment to this other person.
Yes.
It's your fault that they are being hurt. That's a lot. Like Lyra gets punished a lot, but like a lot of her punishments also include someone else getting punished
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. And often it's her cousin.
What's that thing called? Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah,
That's what it's like.
that's a thing.
Because she's like still, despite all of this, she's just like, I have to do what she says. I have to like be in her good graces. Like,
I can't. There's
through,
nothing I
like,
can do.
Until like the last 10% of the book, finally she's just like, oh, I don't gotta do that.
Even when she decides, like, she's like, I'm gonna overthrow her. She's like, but I'm still gonna take his heart because that's what she told me to do.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's a point where she's still so, and I was like, you want to destroy her,
why
though.
do you have to take his heart still?
Well, my thinking is like she still thinks she's fundamentally that creature that is supposed to do that.
But it's still
So, like,
a product of her mom.
Yeah. So I feel like it's like, even though she's like, I'm gonna do this because then I can overthrow. I think it's also because like she knows that if they get the thing, she's gonna have to fight him for it, and so she knew that she was gonna have to kill him to be able to get it. So like, I think that was her mindset. But also I think she still just basically believes that she is a monster, and that's what she has to do. Is she has to kill this prince because
That's what you do.
she's the prince's bane. That's what she has to do.
Yeah.
And then it turns into like, we don't have to kill each other.
And she comes to that realization, like, she's just like, what is she, like, laying in bed? She's just like, oh, I don't have to do that. That's cool.
It's just weird. It's just a weird change. But anyway, so she has to go out and she has to get a sailor's heart. But she, upon trying to find a sailor to take the heart, she finds Elian, who is a sailor, but also a prince.
But that doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
It's
The
a
loophole.
But I think also like his.
In the
Like,
end, is
he-
a loophole
but
for real?
he's
'Cause
also
that's kind of what I
known-
was thinking, and then I was like, why is she getting so
No.
mad? It's still
No.
a sailor.
But he
That
is.
doesn't come back either.
I do remember her calling him a siren killer. So he is known as someone who is consistently killing sirens.
Yeah, so
Right.
that's
So
why
she's-
she's like,
she's
that's why I'm
feeling
going
like-
to go after this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. But then like a mermaid shows up, and mermaids are like these weird like creepy creatures. Like imagine, like as
They
you
really
said,
like treasure.
the mermaids from the Goblet of Fire that are like holding.
But like
the,
grosser.
Yeah, but like grosser.
Because they said they had like almost like a full fish-looking body,
yeah.
and they can unhinge their jaws to swallow ships.
Yeah.
Like how fucking crazy is that?
It's terrifying, but it's amazing.
But like
get it.
ship size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like shit.
That's ship size.
Yeah. Oh, really? You know those ships in bottles? Totally get that in there. Totally.
Battleship.
Yeah, like the little tiny
the
battleship ships. They didn't specify what
kind of
size ship.
I'm gonna go over here
Yeah,
now.
what if it was like they can unhinge their mouths to like swallow ships, and then they just give like a toy ship, and then you just watch it slowly go into this tiny mouth.
You're so impressive. Mermaids. I can sing too, see?
Mermaids believe.
I'll sink
That-
your battleship.
So this is where I think a cool bit was that mermaids want to become human because the mermaid starts like aggressively like hissing and like yelling at Lyra because she's like, that one's mine. I need him to become human. So like they
They have
think
their
that if they
own
take-
lore going on.
mermaids
They're
are their
crazy.
entire, which I think is also really cool. Like the mermaids are fundamentally different and also have their own fucking shit that's happening that makes them different. But I love that that's like a callback to like the Little Mermaid, where like they want to be human because they're gross, disgusting creatures.
Yeah.
So
They want
they
to be
think
beautiful.
they want to be beautiful. So they take the people's hearts in order to and then they eat them
Yeah.
in the hope that they'll become human. Spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work because otherwise why would there be mermaids?
Nope.
Still.
All
So-
wrong.
So Lyra and this mermaid start fucking fighting, and then the mermaid manages to like lure Elian to like the water and starts dragging him down. He says like, my little monster, like because he sees something, and then he's like violently pulled underwater.
Yeah.
Mermaid. And he's like drowning slowly, and like Lyra doesn't want the mermaid to kill him because she
I thought they were fighting and they hit the ship and then he fell.
Something like that. Because he
Well,
was, like, leaning over, watching.
Yeah, he was leaning over
Because like, he was leaning over because like, I
them.
remember him being like, my little monster.
Yeah, he said that to her because he was like, you showed up.
You did it. I'm so proud of you.
Now I can kill you. This will be so easy.
It's like so close to home. Like, how great is that?
Didn't even
so, like,
really leave yet.
wow, amazing. So then he falls overboard, blah, blah, blah. He's being pulled underwater. Lyra doesn't want the mermaid to kill him because she wants his heart. So, like, she needs to do it. So she's, like, pulling the mermaid off of him and, like, bringing him back up to water so he can survive.
He
rips,
swims off.
Yeah. Well, like,
Because she's, like, busy with the mermaid.
Yeah, she's busy with the mermaid because she rips the mermaid's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she murdered that
That she fucking murdered the fuck out of that mermaid. But then she goes back to Elian because she gets him out of the water and she is about to take his heart, but then guards show up and so she has to run away. So, like, there's
Which
like a
is like, cop out.
You should have just fucking done it. Like, who gives a shit
You
about
had
yourself?
time.
For it too, she's like, he was so close to me.
Yeah.
And then
I could have done it. I could have done it.
It's out of my grasp.
Because I basically imagined that scene in The Little Mermaid where she's on the beach with him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's just like, and then all of a sudden her mouth unhinges. I was like, this
Part
is
of your world.
So that's how I imagined it in my head.
Pretty great.
It was perfect. I was like, yes, I'm here for this. This is amazing. So then she swims off and she goes back to home. And then what happens after that?
Well, she like tries. I believe she was on her way back home when her mom, the sea queen lady, was like, "Oh no."
Can we talk about
the
the
trail?
Can we talk about the jellyfish? Because like the jellyfish were like talking to her before she saw like the prince because they were like, "You need a heart of the thing."
That was
And
the mermaids. That's later.
no, there was jellyfish. There was like
they were
proper jelly.
The jellyfish were stinging her because that's like her self-harm thing.
Yeah, but she was like petting the jellyfish.
Yeah, but the jellyfish were talking because the jellyfish are the ones who are like, if you bring her like the heart of the siren killer.
That was the mermaid.
The mermaid said that.
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I felt like I was so busy at work, so much shit. But I just remember the jellyfish.
Because it's two mermaids, and I was like, it's Flotsam and Jetsam.
The Jetsam, honestly.
Because like she described them as eel-like, so I was like,
yeah, she
Flotsam and
described a
Jetsam.
lot of
Because
things.
Again, like I was at work and it was busy, so I was like listening, and
They
I was
were
just like,
mermaids, not little jellyfish.
well, so they were just like, she was just like, then the jellyfish floated away, and then she floated off. So I'm like, were those jellyfish that you know, just like jellyfish? So I didn't hear the part where they were mermaids.
There was but afterwards she starts to go home and she like follows this trail of dead animals essentially and it finds her mother. And then her mom was like, "Why were you outside my kingdom?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Mom, I have to go." She's like, "I don't want to hear it. Why'd you murder the mermaid?"
Yeah, and then she's like fucking pissed.
And then she's like, "Fuck you. You're gonna be human."
Yeah, turns her into human and then just throws her up to the surface and then just leaves her there to figure it out. Like, not like land
Takes
wise.
away her siren song.
Yeah, takes away her siren song.
She makes her look all different.
Yeah, because like there's a
She
point
doesn't
where
have
like
red hair anymore.
yeah, it's like she has like dirty brown hair-ish color, murky brown,
Dirty brown.
dirty brown, just dirty,
Like dark brown.
like
I think
yeah.
that's still red.
Dirty blonde.
Well, no, because like
I don't think they said red because
at the very end, Elian is like
Because
it's
like
red and
Maev
not-
recognizes her when they capture her.
who?
Maev, the siren that they capture.
Oh,
later.
yeah.
I
So
read
like
his
there's
mom. Whatever.
I don't know
Well,
how to say it.
it was after
It's Maya,
after
yeah.
he said her name though. I thought because at first she was calling her human scum and like filthy.
yeah,
And then he said her name, and then she was like princess.
But she was speaking the language.
yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Because, like, yeah, she started talking to her, and, like, she said something about who she was.
Oh yeah,
and
she
then it
did.
was,
She
like,
said the thing.
Yeah.
But
So then...
But that's not how she didn't recognize her physical appearance.
Yeah, she
did from her
recognized-
name and her speech.
Yeah. Because, like, something about her is different because Elian doesn't recognize her when they
Right.
pick her up at all.
Well, her hair is definitely different.
her hair is definitely different, and her eyes are the same color.
Yeah.
Instead of one being bright blue and the other being red.
Yeah.
Which is also
So
really fucking
weird.
cool.
Super cool.
Red. Just bright red. So she's just
So
like...
that happens, and then
yeah.
on Ilian's side,
On the alien side,
They go to the bar, and then they hear the story about the legend of the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the Cloud something mountain?
Yeah, in the Cloud Mountain. There's a crystal that could be used to, like, overthrow the sirens and kill them all. Blah, blah, blah. Supposedly.
Which is, like, an ancient myth, apparently.
It's a fairy tale.
Yes, well, because it leads back to, it's basically what the keto legend, the keto legend is. But yeah, there's like a urban legend floating around that there's a crystal in Cloud City.
Cloud Mountain.
Just bring it back to Star Wars.
Nope. Cloud Mountain.
That could be used to destroy the sirens.
Destroy the Sea Queen, and then in turn all the sirens.
Right.
Yeah.
I think.
Even though they don't know that is what will happen if they use it, it's an urban legend.
Yeah. But so this guy shows up and is like, you need this key, and then Alien does all this other research, and he's like reading children's books, and he's like, oh, there's this ritual you have to do.
Did they ever explain? Did they say? Did his dad give him that compass?
Yes.
Nope. They never explain like why.
Well,
it's not like.
Yeah, I was like, I know it was a gift from someone.
Yeah.
But it never plays any part though.
I think it goes back to when the world had magic.
Right. No, I get.
But it doesn't play any part in the finale.
No, not at all. It just kind of is there. I guess it's kind of cool, like when it does come up.
It's really cool. The
concept. That's
how he knew that the guy talking about keto was correct.
It's useful when it needs to be useful.
Right.
Magic.
Magic. You can explain it away if it's magic. So that information is enough for Alien to be like, well, fuck it, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna go. Christian's dead. We gotta avenge him.
Christian is just
we're just gonna kill all of them then.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But he needs to talk to this one lady, because this one lady is the princess of where the Cloud Mountain is.
Pagos.
Yeah, and she has the map of how to find the...
Because all the royals of Pagos have to climb Cloud Mountain, and they're the only ones that know how to survive it. Everyone else who has tried has died. Or has just not returned.
One of the two
died.
I was hoping they would find like someone like up there, just like hanging out there. Like I just like it up here.
Yeah, I like have this camp. Look, I build a bonfire. It lasts like a couple of weeks. It's pretty good. It's pretty great.
I would grow my own snowberries. It's fine.
Yeah. I would love it if they found like bones or stuff, like in like caves or something. Anything to like show like people have like tried and failed. Like, absolutely. So he has to talk to this lady who is, I guess, old.
She's older. She's like twice his age, he said.
I just like...
So she's like 40.
I imagine, she was like 30, late 30s.
Yeah, I was like old, like late 30s.
It's like, it was so weird because I couldn't pinpoint her age because like the voice that the guy who reads for Alien gave her like this really old lady sort of voice. I was like, wait, how old is she?
Well, she does have like a raspy voice.
Yeah, which I get. But I feel like his was just like, I'm going to go raspy, and it just went to old lady. Are you just, like, talking to an old lady right now? Like, what's happening?
Lady.
And so he has to basically offer her something. Like, they need to make a deal, because he needs that map. But there's only, like, a handful of things that... What is her name? Like, Sakura?
Sakura.
We learned that later her
real name is Yukiko.
Which I think is way cooler.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but she didn't want to be Yukiko. She didn't want to be princess.
Yeah.
I can't rule because my brother...
she's hiding as the bartender of this bar.
Yeah. So... He needs to barter with her, he needs to give her something, and he knows the only thing that he can offer her that she could not refuse is the kingdom. So he basically was like, you will be my queen. You will get my kingdom as my queen. And
I'll
she was
be
like,
stuck to rule forever and be miserable.
He was sort of like, I'll be bored, but whatever. I saved everyone.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be worth the price, whatever.
Really? Just like, you're such a Gryffindor. God.
God. You fucking idiot. But yeah, so she is like, okay, fuck yeah, I can get down with that, and gives him the map.
Because she's a Slytherin. I'm just like all into the Hogwarts houses right now. You know.
I know. We talk about it a lot. Then it goes, what happens after that? They have to go...
So then they go to...
Get on a boat. And
That's when he's like, I need 100 volunteers. Half of you can go home. It's going to be dangerous. A lot of us will probably die. I might die. It's up to you.
I might kill myself to get out of being king.
So then on the way is when they find Lyra floating in the water.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
What?
Just out of nowhere.
Just out of
no boats around.
Yeah.
Nothing. But naked.
He's like, where did she come from? There are no boats and
why
there are
is
no
there
land.
this naked? And like, I love, because like later Lyra brings it up, and she's like, my mother turned me into a human and then left me in the in the water to drown because there was no land or anything around. So if a boat had not shown up to find her, well, who knows what the fuck would have happened
I guess
to her?
that's true. Because like she said earlier, like later, like they were joking around about something about she can't swim or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't drown. Duh. Like he was an idiot, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm human. I can drown.
I can drown. That's right.
But he even said he's like, she wasn't like drowning when he found her. Like she was just floating.
Yeah, she was
on the
floating.
water.
She's just hanging out.
Just floating. And then
she like dipped down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they pull her up, and my favorite like intro to her, like their first conversation, the first thing that she says to him is that you were more attractive unconscious, which I was hoping would be more important later to the reveal of what she was, but it wasn't, and I was so sad because I'm like, dude, because he even like you didn't get to see this part, but he says it back to her, and I was just like, fucking let this moment be like a better moment. Like, we'll get to that when we get to the end, and we'll talk about my like feelings of that moment. But like, oh my god, I would just love it.
So yeah, so that's like all of the backstory information. And finally, they're together.
Yep.
And then in that same scene, they catch a siren, and it's like this old rival of Lyra's. So she's like, whatever.
I love that moment. Her other eye was like just scarred out and like black from when she was attacked, because Lyra specifically attacked her and like basically ripped her eye out, and she's like, I don't remember why I did it.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, she also said that like Maeve was the one who was like, we're enemies, and she was just like, okay.
Yeah.
She was like,
I'll do this.
hate me, but like, sure, we could be enemies.
That's fine. You need a rival. I can be your rival.
Right.
Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they capture a siren, and then like she starts talking, and she's just like spouting off the shit, and she says some shit to Lyra in their native tongue, and so Lyra talks back to her and was just like, shut your fucking dirty ass mouth, you bitch. Don't say that shit. And then that's when the crew realizes like, oh shit, she could speak siren, and then the siren realizes who Lyra is, and then there's a moment where like what's her name? Maeve. She just starts like pleading to be saved.
Right.
Which is
so unsiren.
Like, oh my god. But like also like extremely like humanizing to the sirens, which I think is a very important.
It's really important to the end.
Yeah. So like it was like so like suddenly like this sudden change of just like, please, like I don't want to die, please. And then like, you know, Lyra tells.
Just gonna say your lights are doing something funny.
Yeah.
There's a ghost. It's fine.
It's fine. Lyra explains that to Ilian because he's like, what the fuck is she saying? And so she's like,
well, first he was like, why the fuck can you speak that language?
It's complicated. I'll explain it to you later. Can we deal with the situation?
Let's deal with this first.
What's she saying?
I'm wearing a shirt across my whole body.
Yeah, like, can we deal with the hand right now? So, like, she's, like, telling him, like, she's pleading for her life, and then he's just like, oops, and just kills her. Sorry? Also, I love that the nets that they have are, like, also have, like, glass shards in them, so, like, when they catch people, like the sirens are, like, stuck and, like, injured, so it makes them easier to be killed. That's cool.
But they also have acid blood, which they don't bring up in that scene.
No. And then, yeah, when you stab them, they turn into sea foam. Immediately.
Because the legend is, if a human takes a siren heart, they'll be immune to siren songs. So they turn into foam so that humans cannot take their heart.
That's the legend is that the reason why they dissolve into sea foam so quickly is to prevent any human from taking a siren heart.
Yep.
Woo! And then...
So that happens. And then the interrogation.
And then they're talking, and he's just like, why can you speak siren? And they're like, I captured one once, and we had it as a pet.
So I learned like that. And he's like, sure, and throws her in a cage.
It's so good. Like, we captured one, and I kept it. Lyra
I could learn its way.
I feel like that lie, it's like definitely hard to make up a lie
For why
like
you know a
that.
language that no one should know.
Right.
But like, fuck. Shit. That's rough.
So
But
she's in this cage for like a few days.
Yeah, she gives the story that her family was killed by sirens, so she wanted to know.
She said the Sea Queen.
The Sea Queen specifically, which is like sets up like why Lyra wants to be with them, and also sets up like she tries to use that as like, this is why I know so much about sirens. This is why you need me. She's trying to make herself indispensable so that she can get this prince's heart, but also so that she can overthrow her mother.
Right.
Oh, speaking of which, when she was turning into a human, her mom told her like, you have to the heart that you stole, like that you wanted to take from the mermaid that you killed, you have to bring it to me before the winter solstice, blah 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 blah. So like that's why
which isn't even an issue.
Yeah, the winter solstice isn't an issue at all.
Never comes back.
I kind of like that. Like, we have a timeline, but it never becomes like a problem.
Like a pressing manner.
Like a pressing, like other shit is happening to
like,
make it
like
more.
my biggest criticism of the whole book is the Sea Queen, which we can get to later, but because she's not really a threat.
No, she's
really dumb. No, she's not really.
I mean,
we'll get to that anyway. Then they go to like the city of romance.
Yeah, we're not gonna pretend to pronounce that.
I don't remember what it's
Starts
called.
with an E.
Some long. It's like EUIDLLY. There's another U in there. Like,
and
it's
Elliot wants to stop there to speak to the princess. She's
Which
not
I
queen
love
yet.
Concept for this princess so much.
The royal.
Yeah.
It's so cool, and it just ties into like there used to be magic in this world, and there's not. There's still magic, but not nearly as much.
There's
as
more technology than magic now.
There's hints of magic around, and it's really fascinating and really cool. And this princess is like my favorite part of it because I'm like, this is fucking cool. It's like
if there was ever a novella spinoff, her.
Especially later, because you don't know this because you didn't get to the end.
Well, I know she's got to come back because of their whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they never said, but I'm just assuming
it ties into the end. It's kind of cool.
So Alien goes to make a deal with her, which we don't know yet, but it's pertaining to getting out of the marriage with Sakura.
Yeah.
So you could kind of figure it out just based off of that.
Yeah. But like the cool affliction with this princess is that any man who is near her
touches her,
becomes like obsessed with her in like a sort of way, but then also goes mad from obsession, and then just like she's based. My idea of it was like if a siren and a human had a child, would be like what she was, which would be cool if that actually was like her backstory.
Maybe we'll find out one day.
Who knows? Is there gonna be a spin-off series? Because I think it would be cool.
But I love when she's introduced, when he comes up, she's just like, she holds out her hand to shake it, and he's like, You're funny.
Silly. No. Silly. Yeah, she has like the only people who know about this affliction are the royals of the other kingdoms. No one else knows, so no one else is allowed to be in, like, to go see that princess at all. Or I think she's a queen because she was married, but she
mention her.
So she
she is a queen.
She just has no one to rule because he dipped.
Yeah. So she had a husband. And that husband went mad.
But it's because she wouldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So
she wanted actual love, not lust.
Yeah, they lived on like separate sides of the
And then I think Alien describes it as like, instead of going mad with love, he went mad with greed. And so like basically just bounced out. She does not want to have any children because she doesn't want to pass on her curse. So she just takes in like war.
Cool. Bloodline's gonna end here.
Yeah. So whatever. So she basically like is like, she's just this cool character. You can only get a snippet of her. And I'm like, you're so cool. You have such an interesting. I want to know more about you. And so, but they make a deal of some kind, and then he leaves.
Yeah, and then the other purpose of stopping here was to drop Lyra off because they don't need a stranger that they don't trust on a ship, especially when they're on their quest to save the world.
Also there was like a moment where she had a necklace when she surfaced on the water that had a shell on it.
And the shell is how you can find the secret sea of the siren.
Yeah.
Because it's hidden.
Yeah, and so like
Devalos.
Keelan had it, and then she was like, "Give it back," and he was like, "Why do you want it so bad?" And she's like, "Because it's fucking mine, you asshole." And he's like, "But like, why do you want it so bad?" And he's
I
like,
love when he puts it on too. He's just like, "I'm wearing a shell."
Look at me, I'm so fashionable. So there's like that moment, but she has the necklace with her, and she's like wandering the city, and then she goes to like the
waterfall river thing.
Yeah, whatever, and she touches the shell, and she thinks of her cousin, and then her cousin appears.
Well,
Whoa,
she throws the shell in, and then that summons her.
Yeah, and she does not look great. The Sea Queen has been punishing her immensely for Lyra's mistakes. Again, it just goes back to Lyra gets punished, but someone else always also gets punished.
Also, the Sea Queen's just a bitch.
Yeah, she's kind of just an asshole. A giant asshole. But like, and she's just like, Kalia is just like, have you gotten the heart yet? And she's like, what's wrong with you? What happened? And she's like, your mother is great. I love her to bit. God.
Well, she punched me in the face.
She
with a
literally
fucking tentacle.
Punched me directly in the face. Just straight up. I was like, hey, aunt, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, poof. And so it was,
bitch.
It's been a bad day for me. So they have like a little conversation, but then she disappears. And so it becomes like more apparent in like, I think that like puts a fire under Lyra's ass where she's like, I need to like convince him to keep me. Cause she knows that they're trying to just drop her here. So she's like, he needs to. So she finds him by like following him, which is really funny. Like, so good. Why are you being so secretive? I'm trying to follow you.
She's great.
She's really great. Like her, anytime she's to act like a normal person is like one of my favorite parts.
She's just a robot.
Yeah. And she like basically brings up that there's a ritual involved in getting the crystal.
And she's like, I know what it is.
And then she's like, I'm not, and he's like, tell it to me. And she's like, I'm not gonna tell you because I need you to come. Like that's my only leverage right now. Right. And he's
I
like,
want my revenge too.
Yeah. And he's like, damn it, she's right. She's really good. He's like, I use my own leverage as well to get like the map, and now she's using her leverage. Dude, we're so alike.
And she's pretty. All right, I'm in.
I'm in. We have similarities. Cool, got it. I'm a prince. She's a princess, but I don't know that she's a princess. I just think she's some weird girl. Whatever.
She holds herself.
Yeah.
Like he likes how she holds herself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her confidence is something he appreciates in her, and her retorts are pretty great. It's pretty fucking.
They're all great.
They're all good. Every single line
all the
that
pirates are so good.
But yeah, she basically uses that as leverage to be a permanent, like, a semi-permanent member of the crew. Kai is immediately fucking not okay with it. Madrid, my favorite part of Madrid was that she's like, this is good. We need to outnumber the boys.
Right.
And I was like,
I'll dress you up.
Yeah.
It'll be
Madrid
so fun.
Like,
let me be a girl for once.
That's what I think.
I'm sure there's other females on the other side of the crew that didn't come. Maybe
yeah, there's just like less, because like she's just like we can now outnumber them. Yeah, which is, I love that part of Madrid where she's like this badass like sharpshooter fighter, but she's like also like this really feminine girl. Yeah,
so bad.
I want a best friend. You don't understand. I have nobody to talk to on this goddamn ship.
And I'm stuck with Kai.
It was a fucking nightmare.
I know, my choice, but
I get it, I understand, but Jesus. Yeah, it reminded me of Wash and
yeah, definitely.
But like so much, and I was like, what's but yeah, I love their relationship so much, Kai's and Madrid. So I was like, look at that budding love happening right now. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's great.
So then the next place they go is I forget what it's called, but it's where the band of thieves is.
See, this is the part where I was listening in bed, and then at some point,
and then they were just on a different island.
No. What happened is like they were talking to the king, the leader of the thieves, the guy who
Rycroft?
Rykart, something like that.
Croft. It's like
and
Minecraft, but it's Rycroft.
Rycroft. But they were talking to him and they were like discussing shit. And then I fell asleep and then they were locked in like a jail. So I was like, all right, things have happened that I have missed clearly.
You didn't miss a lot.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, at least like I knew I didn't miss a lot because like they were still resolving the Rykart thing. So I was like, Rykart, I'm gonna call him Rykart the entire time.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They were still resolving that, so I was like, I don't think I missed much, so I'm not gonna bother to go back. So I'm just gonna deal with the situation.
So, like,
I think I can infer what happened. So
yeah, it just like they were talking because they were like, he obviously has the necklace key that we need because he steals like ancient heirlooms and stuff from royal people. Right. So they're like, we gotta go sneak into like where he keeps all his treasure so we can find it, and then just like skedaddle. But then he's like, I know what you're doing because I'm the one that sent you on this mission in the first place. And they're like, what?
What? Weird.
And then he like pulls down his collar and he's like, I have the necklace right here, haha. And then they get into a fight because Lyra throws gold wine in his face and the gold wine has gold shards in it, so he's bleeding from the eyes. And then they fight and then they lose.
And then
they're tied up in the dungeon. That's all you missed.
I loved that their conversation while they were tied up, because they're like having this like cute little banter together, and it's like, guys, I feel like there's a pressing situation that we should really work on.
Well, he's trying to get free.
Elian dislocates his thumb, and all the while he's like, yeah, no, I don't. Do you come here often? Just like stupid shit. I was like, guys, what the fuck?
I liked before, like when they first got to the island and then like had to go in the secret way. She's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Stairs."
I'm like, oh my god. I was like, oh,
that's amazing. Like way to play it off.
Because they bring up like she brings up like her inability, like her uncomfortableness to walk, and like you see that in like the Little Mermaid and stuff. But then you see like this grand staircase that they've never experienced before in their life, and it's like, I want to see that moment of her trying to walk upstairs. And this book gives you that moment. Mm-hmm. I'm just like this tiny little hallway with ascending steps. She's like, what is that?
Like so plain. He's just like, stairs.
And no one questions it.
Right. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stairs.
I know what stairs are.
I know what
totally.
Oh yeah, and then before they get to the thief, they had a whole thing where they were teaching her how to fight, and it was cute.
Yeah.
So
Kai doesn't like her. He does not trust her. He believes like they don't need a stowaway at all. Doesn't want her to be a part of the crew.
Using you for whatever reason.
No. Kai doesn't like her. This is the most important detail. Kai doesn't like her.
So until they're in the dungeon.
They're tied up.
How do you guys pronounce their ship's name?
Was it?
Is it like Sayad or Syad? It's
no,
Saad.
I was pronouncing it Said.
I think it's Said. I'm trying to remember how they pronounce it.
I pronounced it like 3 different ways in my head. I was like, it's Said, Syad, Sad. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Said. I'm pretty sure. I'm like trying to remember.
Good with this pronunciation.
Well, again, I had it read to me, so I'm like, I don't know how it was spelled, but I'm just like, how did they pronounce it?
A-A-D.
Yeah. I was like, how did they pronounce it?
Well, yeah, that's probably way easier.
Yeah.
Because they call it mumbo jumbo of letters jammed together.
No, they call it the sod. That's what they call it.
Sod. Yeah. So the sod starts shooting at the thieves' ship to like rescue them.
Yeah, and he's just like
the whole time Lyra's like, oh, they came to rescue him. That's so cool.
So nice. But like, I think that's so important for her because like she knows that the sirens are loyal to the evil queen or the sea queen, the evil queen, the evil sea queen, the evil sea queen, because they fear her. And then she like that's all she knows. And then she meets Elian, who has this crew who he like is friends with and has this bond with, who he has basically refers to them multiple times as their family, and she sees that like their bond is strong because of the trust they have for each other. Yeah, and the mutual respect they have for each other, and not fear. They don't fear him because Madrid is be the first one to like say some shit to.
You're still on your thing?
We're still podcasting.
Okay, we're live, so
we are live.
Bye.
I'm alive.
We're podcasting.
We're all alive.
We are live.
Welcome, Steve Bottom.
Steve Bottom half.
Steve Bottom half.
We're almost done. We have like 15 more minutes.
We gotta get to the end, guys. I don't know the end.
All right, we gotta skip to the end.
Yeah, so the Sod comes back. They help them. They hear the cannons, and like Eileen is like, I know those cannons anywhere. It's like, why? Why do you know that sound?
Because
Right,
it's home.
It's home. And then a cannonball comes like shooting through the room. Just like Eileen just
Almost
ducks.
murders him.
Like just
They
ducks
almost killed him.
just in time
Yeah,
to
and it
to
breaks the little railing that he
Yeah,
whatever
The rafter.
whatever he's
the
attached
pole.
to.
Rafter.
a raptor, but it breaks him free basically, and he's like he's like looking around trying to find a knife so he can cut his binds because he could like Lyra is still stuck. Like her raft is completely,
And she's like, no, go.
and she's like, you'll die. And then like he's just like they're looking at each other, they're having like this moment looking, and she's finally like, run, and then he like flees. Like,
Run.
and then like so she's tied up, and she's like basically,
And then she's like, but she tells him to run. He leaves, and then she's like, he left me. Do you remember that? She was just like, he left.
Well,
Good shit.
I guess I told him to.
Right. I
But
guess that's
ow.
what like my heart. And then Rycroft comes running through, and he's like looking for shit, and he's just like, where is he? And she's like, I don't know.
Right.
I didn't see him. Did he go somewhere? And like, nice. It's a mail down there.
Yeah, I got the mail. Anyway.
But so he like starts, and he grabs like a sword, and he's just like, where is he? He's basically interrogating her, and she's like just insulting him, and she's just like, I mean, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go down with the ship, I've kind of resounded myself to being dead.
Right, she's like, stop talking, just kill me.
Yeah, just let me be dead. And like he cuts her free, and like is just like, I want like my women to have more fight in them, and I was like, ew.
Yeah.
It's really
Gross.
gross. So she bites
Yeah.
him.
She basically
She
starts clawing the
attacks
shit out of
fuck
him, which is great.
Goes
like
for his
immediately,
heart.
she gets.
Specifically.
Yeah, she's like trying to claw at his heart. She's basically doing what she would do as a siren, which is like.
but she doesn't
claw.
have the claws.
Which I love that the moment she was cut free, she immediately did that. There was no hesitation whatsoever. And then
Is he wearing different pants?
he just
Yes,
changed.
he changed clothes. Is this gonna be part of the podcast now?
You're welcome to the Steve's bottom half changes
The
portion.
bottom half of Steve.
The bottom half of Steve. Welcome.
It's funny because in the real podcast, you can't even see him.
Yeah, you can't
I know,
see. Yeah,
you can't
like,
see him in the actual podcast, but that he was probably fine with that.
It's just the bottom half of Steve, the best half.
The best half is the bottom half.
It's an insult to you, buddy.
Are you okay? Do you need some help?
All right. Anyway, we have to finish.
Yeah, we have to go.
We're almost done. I'm
You can
sorry.
have that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The rapper.
It's very loud. Stop drinking.
We're almost done. I'm sorry. Anyway, so they're fighting,
They're fighting.
and she ends up stabbing him.
Yeah, he pushes her up against. He pushes her up against the like the rafter that she was a part of, and then.
Do you need to get into your chair?
Nope.
Like, it'll get there. Wait, there
Only
it
half.
is.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Steve.
Please stop. You guys can continue.
Okay.
Well, I can't because I don't know what's happening now. Well, yeah, this is the thing.
So she pushes her up against the thing, and like he punches her in the face, and then she like scratches her face on a nail. I remember that distinctly for some reason. But then while like they're talking
She
to
gets
each
her
other,
face scratched a lot.
yeah. They're talking to each other, and while they're talking, she like is like fiddling around. I imagine that she's like trying to make it seem like she's trying to like wriggle out of his grasp, but she's actually digging around his coat, grabbing the dagger in his in his holster,
And
then just immediately
him.
just stabs the shit out of him. And I was like, "Fuck yes!" There's
Because she
fucking
stabbed him so deep that half the handle was in his
yeah.
body.
And then he does like this like
And then,
But he's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's just lying there, bleeding, a little.
Bleeding out, whatever.
He's bleeding.
But then, like, she stabs him and he falls, and then, like, the door to, like, the cabin...
Then she steals the necklace. And
then she takes the necklace, and then the door opens, and then all, like, the crew is there, and they're like, we're here to save you! And
you
then
came for me!
And then they're like, you killed him! You're fine!
Good job!
And so, like, Eileen, like, comes up to her, like, immediately, and he's just like, are you okay? And you can, like, see, like, the scratches on her face, and he's, like, worried about her.
It's mostly his blood. It's fine.
It's fine. Right. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I definitely am not scared at all in any way, shape, or form. So they're, like, she, like, shows him that she has the necklace, and then Rycroft, like, looks up, grabs his pistol, and shoots it.
At Eileen.
And, like,
at Eileen.
And there's, like, a moment where, like...
slow-mo happens
like,
in this
basically
book.
slow-mo. Lyra, like, is talking about how, like, she knows what guns are and stuff. But then she just pushes him out of the way, and then she gets shot. And then now Kai is Team Lyra. He is...
you died for one of us. I trust you now.
You saved my dude.
And
you're
even,
cool.
like, Lyra, as she's explaining it, she's like, I didn't even think, I just did it.
Yeah.
Like, she had to save him.
Yeah. So, like, you could see that she's changing.
Right. Well, he came back for her. I mean,
he came back for her.
She's just so confused because sirens don't know what love is. They know it's a word that humans use, and they don't even have a word for it in their language because it's not something they should feel. So when she's trying to describe the things that she feels for Khalid, what is her, Kalia, her cousin, sorry.
She's just like, it's like a weird affection protectiveness.
She feels more of like she's protecting her from things and stuff like that. And then she's like, I feel the same way for him. Like that's what she compares it to.
So is he like my cousin?
Yeah. A little part that we skipped over. So on Lyra's 12th birthday, she has to get like her first heart herself. So she gets a prince, obviously. But she is more tender and sweet with this prince. She takes his heart, but
only after he's dead.
Not only after he's dead, which is unacceptable.
And not what her mother asked. Her mother told her, you need to steal a still beating heart.
Yeah, like it has to, like,
about this, and I don't regret my decision.
We're almost done.
You can't finish anything when I'm around. You know this.
You're making this last longer than it has to.
Well, whose fault is that? I'll tell
Yours.
you whose. It's his.
Voldemort is not part of this.
Right.
Anyways.
Fine, whatever. But yeah, she, like, because the sirens kill before their heart stops beating, because they're drowning, basically. So they
just keep going.
They have to take the heart before it's done, so that their final moment is, awful. And then, so she doesn't do that. She waits until he's fully dead before she takes his heart. And then, yeah. And then when she comes back, her mom is upset and pissed off because she didn't do it right.
She didn't do what she was told.
Yeah, she didn't do what she was told. So
to make an example of her,
she, like, and at this point, if Lyra's 12, then Kalia
she's 10.
Is like,
I think,
9 or 10. Yeah, she's like 9 or 10. She, like, points at Kalia and is just like, kill her. And obviously, Kalia's mom, who is the Sea Queen's sister, is like, please don't do that.
She's like, that's my daughter.
Yeah, that's my daughter. And she's like,
I'm the Sea Queen.
Shut your fucking mouth, you bitch. I'm the Sea Queen.
Right.
And it's just like, kill her. And then Lyra's
Crystal.
aunt, she goes in, like, Lyra's like, I guess I don't know what to do in this situation. And then, like, the aunt is just like, no. And she swims in front of Lyra and it's just like,
kill me instead.
Kill me instead. And then she whispers, be the queen we need you to be. And then Lyra kills her. It's pretty.
Which is it's a weird thing because of the fact that instead of Kalia now hating Lyra, it actually bonded them together.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because, like, I think Kalia fundamentally knew that Lyra didn't want
Laura
to
was
do it.
forced to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I know
So it
that,
was like
but I
this
mean,
horror that they
she
both
even thinks it's
experienced
weird
together.
stuff.
yeah. And I think for, like, how fucked up their upbringing has been because of the Sea Queen, I feel like they need to latch onto each other because they're really the only things that they have. They're the only people that they've got to, like, that are looking out for them because everyone else is, like, looking out for themselves. And the Sea Queen is
Blind
definitely...
soldiers.
Yeah. And the Sea Queen is definitely not liking any of them. So I feel like they had to latch onto each other, or else it was just gonna be bad news bears for the rest of their lives.
Right.
But that's like that moment, because like I feel like that moment you really understand the way Lyra is for most of the book. Is she's like her mom is fucked up, and then she sees like how the sirens are following her, and like how she sees that as loyalty, and then
You said he never sees his face. You're on camera.
but like
I was not expecting you.
yeah, he's been growing it out lately. But like there's like it goes into how she sees like the terror that everyone has for the Sea Queen, and then the love that everyone else has for Elin, and how like that's fundamentally different, and then it slowly just changes because she has a lot of dreams, but she was like remembering that part. I don't remember why she was remembering that part.
I think
but
it
I
was
was
part
like,
of her nightmare.
probably. Brilliant. But like I just like I was like we skipped over that part because that's like an important part of her thing. But she has another dream later when she's unconscious after being shot, where like Elin finds the hearts that she has buried.
Right.
It's terrifying.
He's like, whose heart is this?
Whose heart is this? And then she's like, it was the last one I took. And then he rips out his
Yeah,
own heart.
no,
And he's
it
like,
wasn't.
this was the last one. It was like, whoa, shit.
We're like,
It was like reminding him just like, oh, this is a scary book.
Oh yeah, this is scary. This is real scary. But then they're like bonded now because like she was shot and she did the thing and she saved him and like blah blah. So now all the crew loves her. Everything's great. They get to Pagos, and they're greeted by the royal family, which is like three brothers then four brothers, and then Yukiko. And
who wasn't supposed to be there? He was supposed to be in Midas.
Wasn't
How the
supposed to
fuck
be
that
there.
bitch get there?
What did she do? Because they
Airship.
have airships, and then this is when they're like, she's like, the airships are much faster. Like there's
she's
other
being a
modes of
dick.
transportation are better than the sea, and that's when they bring up airships. I'm like, what is this world?
I know, they're
And I
not
was like-
mentioned at all until like this
Yeah,
3/4 of the way through.
because they're not important, which is great. I'm glad that it's not mentioned.
Like, I
because,
feel like
I
if
hate-
airships were a thing, people are worried about dying in the ocean. Like, just take a fucking
Well,
airship.
like that's when Elin explains. He's like, the airships are finicky. They don't always work, and
They're
it's
new,
more.
yeah.
They're more bother than they're worth. If something doesn't, if a sea voyage doesn't take longer than like a month or two, it's not worth the trouble of doing like an airship. So like they explain like why they have these things and they're not using them.
Which is weird.
It's because it's still new
Okay, then what
technology.
happens? Did they climb the mountain, guys?
Yeah.
Did
But-
they find the thing?
Yes, they find
Tell
the
me
thing.
about it.
We're there. We're at the part where we're gonna learn.
All right,
so
so they get
This
there.
is as far as I read.
yeah. So they're greeted by the things, and again, the main dude had a really old voice in the thing. So I was like, how old are these people? Like I don't know any of their ages right now.
I think if she's the youngest and we're thinking she's like
Yes,
30
they're fucking
something,
old. Yeah.
then they're all like,
But they all have like these headdresses on that are like representative of their age. So like
I
they're-
imagine them wearing like the full
Yeah,
yeah,
like animal.
I think they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like their head is on top of their
Right.
head.
The guy with the
Those-
snow lion, he
Wait,
was
oh,
described as
those
actually filling out the snow lion
Yeah.
Right.
like skin.
Yeah, there's like there's the wolf, the winter wolf,
The winter
Snow.
wolf, the Arctic fox, and the polar
I
bear.
knew I heard the Arctic fox. I'm like, Brittany's in. If she's not in now, she's in now.
If I have it like this until now.
Yeah. If If she's not interested, there's an Arctic fox at some point, and she's done.
And it's gone within like 2 pages, but it's fine.
It's there, it's mentioned, and that's all that it takes. So they're greeted by them, and then like they're all brought to the throne room to talk about like what's happening, because from what and per this conversation that they have, the royal family doesn't know the deal that Yukiko and Ilian have of her becoming queen.
Yeah.
Because of the way they talk. They're just like, what could have possessed our beloved sister to give you the map of this place, blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna give you all the glory.
And Ilian, he mentions it specifically, he's just like, if she hasn't brought it up to her brothers, I will not be the first one to bring it up. Because it gives him basically a way of like, well, it's like, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Did we say that? And then there's, like, Yukiko sees Lyra in, like, with the little posse, and she's like, I didn't know that he was taking new recruits. And she was like, oh, I'm here to kill him.
Yeah, totally not. He's like, my crew drinks a lot.
I'm so sorry.
I was like, shut the fuck up.
But to shut her up, he like squeezes her waist, and Yukiko's like,
and Yukiko, eagle-eyed, sees that shit. She's like, yeah, eagle-eyed. She's fucking eagle-eyed, man. But yeah, I just love that moment. He's like trying to make eyes with her to be like, shh, don't say anything. And
she
she's
has like no tact at all.
I'm here to kill him.
I am not a human.
and then Kai has to like stop himself from laughing.
I know, they're like best friends now.
Because like that's important. Because that's another part of one of my favorite lines is when after like the rest of the crew leaves and then they discuss further what's gonna happen. Yukiko is gonna take take them up to the mountain to ensure, one, that they're not double crossed, and two, that they actually make it, because Yukiko and the rest of the royal family make the trip up and down the mountain regularly because that's part of their royal like thing. But anyone who doesn't, like anyone else, hasn't been able to make it up or down. So it's also to ensure that they all make it. So like they don't really have a choice; they have to do it. He leaves, and then Lyra is there, waiting out in the hall, and he's like, why did you say that? And she's like, it's not funny. And she's just like, Kai thought it was funny. He's like, Kai's an idiot. Don't use Kai as a basis
For anything.
But like, for anything. And then like they're in the hallway and they're talking about, and she's like telling him how an idiot he was for trusting, and she like wants to say something, but then she doesn't say it, and then whatever. But then it switches to Lyra's point of view, and she's like, I went there initially to tell him what was going, like who I was, what was happening, and whatever. And then she just couldn't. So she wanted to tell him in that moment, like, this is who I am. This is just reveal everything. It's gonna do it.
So close.
And so close. But then Yukiko at some point confronts Ilian about what she saw of the hand on the waist shit, and she's just like, you can love her, but it doesn't change anything.
The kingdom is mine.
Yeah. I will be a queen. And he's just like, you're not a queen yet. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, and that's basically it for that. The next day, they go
up and they're traveling for a while.
Yeah, they're traveling for a bit. They go up a mountain. There's some stuff that happens.
But then the cute thing happens.
So there's that one moment where they're like camping because they're at their first like camp stop, and then like they're looking at the stars, and then one of them, I don't remember which one says it, but they're like, I've never seen the stars. Oh, Lyra was one. She's like, I've never seen the stars before. And then like under the stars, and they're having this like cute moment, and like she's again met with this moment where she wants to tell him who she is, what she is.
Because like it's in the middle of the night, and he like comes into her tent, and he's like, here, come on. And he's like, they go look at the stars, and he's like, I have all these stories about the stars, and she's just like mesmerized, and it's so cute.
She's like, oh, yeah, stars, they're so cool. And like she's like looking at him, and then she's like about to say something, and she's like, why haven't you kissed me? And then it was just like, and then like again, that's when I just stopped in my kitchen, and I was just like,
I know. And then they have a little bit of banter, and then she asks again, and then he finally...
Well, like, they have a little bit of banter, and he's just like, do you remember the first thing you said to me when we met? And he said, he's like, you said, you look more attractive unconscious. And I wanted him to be like, them have this like really close moment where they're really close to each other, and he's just like, what did you mean by that? And then it just like suddenly the entire mood just drops, and like he just realizes it on his own, and I was like, oh, that would have been amazing. But no, that doesn't happen. But it would have been so good if it did. Because it's like, dude, you repeated her to her face. Like, did you not think that was weird? Because in Europe, you didn't. What? You weren't unconscious. She was unconscious. I don't understand. But I won't. Yeah, she asks again, and then they kiss, and they have this like nice little tender, sweet little kiss, and it's really...
like freezing cold. But then she's like, "But I felt warm."
I felt warm.
Yeah.
And then
like it fades to black, and I'm like, they totally did it.
Fade to black totally means they did it.
Yeah, totally means it. And then I don't remember much of the ritual, so Brittany, you might have to take it over from here.
They make it up to the ice palace, which is like, I imagine the way they said it was like bending spire, so it's like an ice sculpture, and it's like bending like out like this. Mm-hmm. That's how I imagined it. So they get inside, and then Yukiko uses the necklace into this little imprint thing, and then this door like pushes open and slides over. It's like the secret door, and then they get to where the eye is, and it's kind of like floating with like this weird, not really force field.
We didn't explain the crystal that the humans refer to as crystal. Lyra clarifies that it's the other eye of Keto. Yeah, so like of Keto. Whatever. You get it. It's her other eye. And Lyra knows that if she obtains that eye, she will become powerful enough to overthrow the Sea Queen. And then if she's able to get that eye, and then also the trident, she will be even more powerful than anything. So I just know we didn't clarify, like,
well,
what
like, she didn't say that yet, but sure.
She says it in her head. That
well,
she's
she
like,
doesn't, we don't know it yet until, like, 2 chapters later. Because we can't know yet because we don't know the twist.
Yeah, we don't know the twist.
So they get up to the stone and they're like, all right, what's the ritual? And she's like, well, you need siren blood. And they're like, you could have told us that at the bottom of the mountain. Now, how are we supposed to get a siren all the way up here? And then she's like, well, your magic knife, because it's killed so many siren, it soaks in the blood. And he's like, oh, okay. So he, like, stabs it in.
You're so smart. Oh, my God. Yeah, totally.
So he, like, stabs it in, and, like, tries to reach for it, but he can't get past the force field. So they're like, oh, it didn't work. Oh, no, what are we going to do? So then they go to sleep. And they try again the next day. Still doesn't work. They're, like, trying to figure things out. And then that night, this is where Lyra's plan comes along. She's like, all right, in the middle of the night, she goes up to the little thing, and then she cuts her palm and bleeds on it, and then like grabs the thing, and that's when she's like, no, she doesn't say it yet. She's just like, yeah, I'm a siren, I get blood, blah blah blah. But someone was watching.
Yukiko.
Dun dun
that
dun.
Bitch. Always brown.
She doesn't sleep.
No, apparently.
So Yukiko's like, I knew something was weird with you. You're a siren. And then, like, they have this whole little banter back and forth where Lyra basically says out loud, yes, that's true. And who else is listening?
Elin, because he also doesn't sleep. He's like sauntering up to the door, and then you just see him, and he just, like, turns, and it's like, da-da-da.
I'm just like, there's so many people listening in.
Guys,
Yukiko's like, I told you. She's weird.
I imagine that he got up because he wanted to go fuck Lyra again, and then he was like, she's not here, and then he was like, maybe she's over here. And
then he's like, fuck, she's a siren.
Shit, she's a siren.
Damn it.
And then immediately, he tries to kill her, which I think is...
real?
For real.
That's so sad.
Which is, I think, but it's so good,
it's
though.
So good.
It's so good, because it's
like fighting, and then, like, at one point, she drops the crystal, and I was like, Yukiko's gonna grab it, but no. Thankfully.
Thank God. Elin grabs it.
So like,
but then, like
they're fighting, and then she falls on the ground, and then like he's about to like kill her, and then like instead he's like, leave.
Yeah.
And Yukiko's like, what are you doing? You know what she is. And he's like, I can't
do it.
And that's when in his anger he
I can't kill her.
So then Lyra runs away.
She picks
up the crystal.
And yeah, he picks up the crystal, he has it.
And then he's like fuming with anger, and then like Yukiko's just like kind of just trying to be like, well, we have to go after her, you know, we have this deal, blah blah blah. And he's like, you know what? This is the actual deal, and you're just gonna accept it. I'm so angry right now, I can't even.
That's in there. I can't even.
I can't fucking even it. But he basically tells her, because like at some point with their little meeting with the thing.
Yeah, what's
like,
the deal with the lady in the skin?
Well, like with the skin. When like Yukiko and him were talking after like when she was confronting him about the Lyra situation, about the love, he brought up like, do you even care what kingdom you get? You just want a kingdom. And, like, do you even care? And she's like, it doesn't matter. Like, we have
Promise
a deal.
me a kingdom.
Yeah. And so this is the moment where he reveals like the reason why he was like he went to go see Princess Princess Curse, her like whatever, Princess Curskin
from the romance city.
He explained that like that he like she can have a queen, like she can't take a king, but she can take a queen because her curse has no effect on women. And yeah, hell yeah! Which I was like, this is so
that's
cool.
what I wanted. That's what I assumed was gonna. I'm so happy. So happy.
So it came true.
Yeah, but like Yukiko was like, what is that even allowed? Like, does she even care? And he's just like, she thinks that it'll be great because she can't meet with any diplomats.
She
can't
doesn't want any kids.
Her city is dying, and
right.
she can't do anything about it. So she knows that this is probably the best, and it puts Midas in
their debt.
For debt. Yeah, in their debt for being able to take this thing. So like it's good for all
good
parties.
For everyone.
And like it's just like, oh, it was so cool. And she's like, what about an heir? And she's like, she doesn't want to pass on her curse, so you can do whatever you can get a husband as well as be queen. Whatever, who cares? Because she doesn't want any children. So it's like great. But then she's like, when the time comes, when like this has happened, you will kill the Princess Bane yourself.
That's the only way that I'm gonna agree to this.
Yeah.
If you kill her.
And Elend's like, that's the only way that she will die. It's like, if I see her again, that's the first thing I'm gonna do, is what he says. Mm-hmm. So then Lyra is running out, and there's like this like sea bit in the mountain, because I don't think
before you get to the palace, there's a moat, which is like a mountain mountain like lake thing. It's not a river, but it's like a lake.
Mountain lake.
It's a mountain lake.
Those are things.
So she rows across to the other side, I'm assuming just in case anyone is coming after her, and she throws her shell into the water, summoning her mother. Yeah. But
we also forgot to talk about the midnight visit that her mother gave her when she was on the sod at some point. That's what our first introduction to the flesh eater was, during that moment. Because I was like, oh, the flesh eater is important to this part, but we haven't talked about the flesh eater other than when we...
Yes, flesh eater!
Oh yeah, the flesh eater. No, there's that one point on the sod where the queen comes and like visits. She like lulls the rest of the crew to sleep, and she like basically visits Lyra, and she's like,
First it's just the flesh eater.
Yeah, the flesh eater.
Yeah. Kisses her.
He has like a weird skeleton hand, and he's
disgusting.
Terrifying. But he has like he's like got a shark tail, but he has like a face,
he tastes
but
like
it's like
death.
Yeah, he tastes like flesh, and ooh, it's gross. But
I feel like he's like sideways too.
Yeah, he's all like
he's like Lyra's promised mate, basically. Yes. Like who Lyra is going to make an heir with is with the flesh eater, because the flesh eater is the most eligible bachelor.
He's like the strongest fighter and stuff.
He's the strongest fighter.
Right, exactly.
But so he's there, and then so she's like freaked out because she doesn't want to see him, because she's just as repulsed by him as we are, because
gross.
Why? But then it's actually the queen is actually visiting her, and she's like trying to make sure, because she doesn't understand why she's on this boat.
She's like, why don't you have the heart here?
Yeah, you're with him right now. She's the heart.
Like, it's not that simple.
It's not that simple. But yeah.
Oh, Lyra, you're just making excuses like a child.
Like a child. But yeah, that's our first introduction to the flesh eater, because he's important in this last little bit.
Side note, really fast, super sorry. So she's like promised to the flesh eater guy, but then later on she says like her mother wouldn't care if she died, she would just make another heir with the flesh eater.
Yeah.
And so I was like, is he just everybody's buddy?
He's the strong...
Like, dude, is that her dad?
Probably.
That's disgusting.
They're fish.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. Well, like, because like he's like.
I was really bothered by that part.
Yeah. No, it's fucked
immediately
up.
I was like, that's her dad.
Yeah. It's gross.
Not important, but continue. Just
It's gross.
really
But yeah,
weird.
well, because like if you think about it, the flesh eater is like the strongest of all the mermen, so obviously he's the most likely to be
He's
the royals.
most bachelor suitors.
Yeah, most
He
bachelor
can
suitors
handle the sea queen in the bed.
with all of her tentacles.
With all of her. Ew.
I've seen hentai. It's not
Gross.
Mm.
Nope.
Gross.
Don't need it.
Tentacle porn. Tentacle porn and hentai are really different.
Well, tentacle porn is like a subgenre of hentai.
Right. But it's
Not important.
Anyway, different podcast.
It's not. But yeah, she summons her mother, and her mother comes up and like,
And then, like, at this point, you're just like, why are you doing this? Because we don't
Right.
know her plan.
yeah, no, we have no idea what the fuck's going on.
So we're just like, why is she doing this? No.
So Lyra's like basically being like just yelling at her like, I found Kito's eye. I did it. How did you not see it? And the Suki was like, you stupid idiot. I can't. Do you see how high we are up in the sky? I can't feel this water.
I can't
Are
see
you
all
insane?
water. Just when I
If
feel
you had
like...
If you hadn't summoned me here, I wouldn't have known this place existed. You bitch. You stupid.
Is she like stuck there now? Or
No,
like,
no.
oh.
She's not stuck there. But like
Lame.
Lyra is like,
It's like a
I mean-
portal. They
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of explain that a little later.
So like Lyra's like about to like fucking take the Sea Queen on, like she's gonna fucking fight her because she's like alone. She doesn't have her siren army, and she's like.
But like the
Army.
point of like summoning her, which we don't know yet, but like the important part, and she's like, the Prince Elian has the stone. That's what
Yeah.
she needs the queen to know.
Mhm.
So that's the
Yes,
whole point.
Like because she's like, give me the eye, and she's like, I don't have it. Elin has
He
it.
has it.
And she's like, oh shit, and then she's like, we're gonna fucking fight you. We're gonna take you on, and we're gonna destroy you. So, like he's going to destroy you. Like you're away from your siren army. You can't do it. And she's like, my siren army? You mean these people? She summons all of them, all the sirens.
Yeah, it's like a mile long. This
Yeah.
lake is really long, and it's like a mile long of just mermen and sirens.
You described it at one point. He's like, there's so many that it like turned the water black with how many people were, like how many sirens were in the water.
Holy shit.
So,
So then
Plan
this wakes up
took a
all the
turn.
pirates.
yeah.
The pirates
Plan
are
took
like,
a-
what's going on?
Yeah, the pirates are there, and they're like, what's going? Oh,
Hello.
hello, great. How do you know Lyra? so there's just like. Then they're just like, it's a full, and like Elin like shows up, and they're all there, and then it's like Yokiko is there. Yokiko and Lyra start fighting, and then but all the pirates are fighting the sirens, and the queen thinks that Elin is like her equal, so like she's like trying to destroy him. There's just like
He's
a fucking
going after her.
Battle is happening.
a fucking battle
Who wins?
is occurring, and then I don't like the details are very foggy because
That's
a
okay.
lot
Who
of shit
wins?
happens, but at some point, it is become like as a way to get Elin to give over this crystal because she can see that he has it. He's like holding on to it. To give the crystal, she's like trying to like she's basically attacking Lyra, and at some point she turns Lyra back into a siren. Basically, at some point she becomes back to a siren, which is a part of Lyra's plan. It seems so. It's good. It's like everything is going according to what Lyra wants, and we're seeing Lyra's. I love this part of the writing because we see Lyra's plan, what's the word?
Unfolding.
Unfold. Like instead of her telling us what's happening,
We're just
we're like
seeing it happen.
Yeah, we're experiencing it as if like we were there.
Because part of all this is in Alien's point of view.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we don't know what she's thinking
No,
most
no.
of the time.
So like, but yeah, she never explains her plan in her own head.
Because we see her change from Alien's point of view, so we get to actually see it happen.
When his description of her when she changes, oh my god, it's also really good.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, you'll like
Don't
that
tell
part.
them.
Yeah.
Let me
It's-
just read it.
It's real nice because she becomes like this like fire basically.
Yeah.
She's like all orange and shit.
And then again, the Sea Queen is like, if you get the crystal from him, and then you'll be in my good graces again. Like she keeps
Yeah.
making the same deal over and over again.
Yeah. Get the crystal, give me the crystal, and then
everything's erased.
yeah, we're good. Which no, we're not. We know we're
So-
not.
Right.
With your track record, we're gonna get back to the palace, and you're gonna be like, kill your cousin, kill yourself. Like what?
So then all of the sirens start singing to like lull all the pirates to like stop, and then this is the best part. Lyra's like singing too to Elian, and like he's like coming forward, but she's like he's not affected by the song, but he's still coming forward. So they get really close because he's like acting it up, and
she's like beckoning him like subtly,
like,
and then
so then they
she's,
get
like,
really close. So they're like whispering to each other, and he's like, "What's going on?"
He's like, "I'm not gonna give you the
What's
crystal,"
up?
and she's like, "I know."
and he's like, "Why isn't the song affect me?" And she's like, "'Cause I gave you my heart." And then they kiss.
And I was like, ugh. And she was like, all this time I've been trying to get his heart put in reality to save us. I just had to give him mine. And I was like, this is the cutest story ever.
And then after that, she's just like, "You have to believe in me." And then
And he stands
like,
up.
hesitates, and he's like,
He stands up and he's like, "I believe you." And he gives her the crystal. And I'm just like, it's amazing. And then
so then this is when it's revealed about the blood thing.
yeah. So you didn't need siren blood to get the crystal. Elian's blood, Yakiko's blood
It could have been
worked.
anyone. But whoever's blood touches the crystal is its master.
Yeah. So
That's why she had to trick them so that her blood
Like,
could
just
get on
kidding.
it.
Yeah. So Lyra is all like, oh, then she's like, you can't, like, she's like, I'm going to fucking take you, Mom. Bring it. And she's like, you can't match me. And she's like, I'm the one who got the crystal. I'm its master. And then the evil queen is like, oh, shit.
Just like that. She's like,
Basically, there's like a moment where she like stops. She's like, what?
You did this to me?
Your mother? I have raised
where do you
you.
think you came
I
from?
am a great mother. I didn't do anything to damage your psyche in any way, shape, or form.
Everything ever, Mom.
Everything ever. So then
yeah.
it goes into another full-out battle where the queen is... My favorite moment of all time happens where Kai is just like Elin, duck, and then Madrid shoots the sea queen with a gun, and I was like, oh, Madrid, you're so cool, but then it just bounces off the sea queen.
Oh, shit.
It was the intention and the gesture that counts.
And like I imagine like their face at the moment was just like, we should go, we should get out of here.
Back it up.
But it's so good because I was like, yes, Madrid, fucking kill her. That would be so dope. But then it's just like, Lyra's just like, if it was any lesser creature, it would have killed him instantly. But the heart, like the spear, just bounced off. And I was like, oh no, this is bad. And then like things go a little bit like there's a battle happening, and then at one point, Elin is suddenly missing from her side, and she's like, he was there, and then he's not there, and then she turns around, and the flesh eater has him, and he's like pulling him out into like the middle of this moat thing, and then like all of the like,
And just eat him. He's a flesh eater.
well, like I think it's more so like he's trying to make. I think he tries to at some point.
He does. Like it's all happening at the same time where the flesh eater's pulling Elian away, and then Lyra at the same time is giving her speech
Yeah.
to all of the sirens.
Yeah.
So instead of continuing the fight, she's just like, I'm not going to
because
do
they're holding her from getting him.
Yeah,
basically.
they're all
the sirens-
surrounding
yeah.
her. Because
like she like tries to turn to go to him, but then the sirens all like pull her back because they're the sea
their
queen.
allegiance with the sea queen.
Yeah.
But then,
And so like
yeah.
she makes this speech where she's just like, you can be free, and then one of them that's holding her is just like, free?
What does free mean?
What does free mean? We don't have that word in our tongue. Oh yeah, this is where my favorite line happens, where like the evil queen is talking to Elin in her like language, and Elin is just like, I don't speak sea bitch, and it's just
like
oh, it's so good. But yeah, like that happens during this moment. You're gonna finish it, you'll see it, and you'll be like, did I love this part? I'm gonna highlight it for her. But so like, Lyra basically gives like a speech, and she's just like, you don't have to do what she says to you. Like, you don't have to do this. We could be happy.
Yeah.
be not miserable for the rest of our lives.
This is when her aunt's line comes back, where you have to be the queen that we need you to be.
Yeah,
not just another sea witch, basically.
Yeah. And then it works, and the sirens let her go, and she goes swimming out. And she's like, I don't need the crystal power to do this. Like, she's doing this, like, out of anger for the flesh eater. And she just, like, starts fucking pummeling the flesh eater. But then the flesh eater also is, like, biting her and, like, actually...
Yeah, like, rips her shoulder and stuff.
Yeah. It's, like, it's fucking gory and shit. And then I don't, like, I know she's victorious, but I don't remember how.
She punches a hole through him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then he's just like...
Oh.
Oh, shit.
It just floats away. Yeah, because, like, isn't it, like, at one point she's like, oh, yeah, I have this crystal. And then she's like, boom, all right, I'll use it. And then she just punches straight through him. And it's like, shit. And then that's, like, our first moment where we see, like, how powerful, like, the eye is. And it's just like,
oh.
Punch
there's a hole in that guy.
There's a hole in the guy. And then she saves Elin and brings him back to land. And then now it's time to deal with the sea bitch. And I don't remember what happened. How do they deal with her?
How did they kill her?
I can't remember.
She dies.
I can't help.
I know.
Good. She dies. Perfect.
She does die. And at some point there's like an avalanche. Oh no, like she like I don't remember. She basically punches her into oblivion, and she like flies into the air, but then she crashes to the ground, and it causes
part of the palace comes off.
Yeah. It basically like causes
and, like, smooshes her.
Yeah, and then she gets, like, smushed, and then they all have to, like, flee because, obviously, an avalanche is occurring. And then what happened? Like, what happened specifically?
Then she, like, goes up, like, because they're, like, waiting for her to foam up.
I just listened to this part, and I don't remember.
I was like, didn't you finish?
Yeah, I just finished it.
Well, they're waiting for her to, like, foam up and stuff, and she's not. So, and then, like, Lyra goes up to her and is like, I mean, she was still my mom. And, like, they're all kind of waiting for her to, like, say something, but she's just kind of sitting there silent. And then Elin comes over and is, like, hugging her, and then the Sea Queen finally foams up and then, like, disappears, and they're like, it's over.
Ooh, I forgot, like, when the Sea Queen and Lyra are facing off, there's a moment where, like, when she's, like, trying to barter with her to be like, give me the like, eye, and I'll make sure they, like, stories are told, like, show, like, your redemption and blah, blah, blah. And, like, Lyra's like, when I become queen, I will make sure you are never remembered. Except for how you died. And I was like, shit. Damn. But yeah, there's like a moment where they're comforting each other, and then it, like, fades to black. Basically. And then it comes back.
And then there was a point where, during the fighting, Elin almost kills the cousin, but then doesn't.
Yeah. She's like, she's my cousin. And then
sorry,
like,
babe.
Oh, sorry.
My bad.
Might be.
Don't look
and then it's like the last, like, roundup chapter.
Yeah, like it's like
where
an
it's
epilogue.
like recapping what's happening.
Yeah. But Elin is, like, sailing out to where Davos is. Is that what it's called? Davalos.
Yeah, I was like, this is not.
It's close. I got close. It's real close. But he's sailing out to there, and he's talking about what's been happening. But basically,
what about Kikiku? What's her name?
Yeah,
Yukiko and the Romance City lady do get together.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, but he didn't kill the lady.
No, everything's fine. It's a happy ending.
It's a happy ending.
So now you got the two queens, and then that whole country has been. It's like a time skip. So it's like that whole country is, like, doing a lot better already, with help from the Pagos
and now
royalty.
Because of, like, the way, like, because of Lyra and everything.
Darkmoon cannot control the hammer on the rock.
Thank you.
Good talk. It's because of Lyra, like, now the Siren Kingdom is now considered a part of one of the kingdoms. So people go there. They have trade conversations and stuff like that together.
Yeah, it's not a secret sea anymore. They opened the portal to everyone.
Yeah. So you can go visit there. So he's sailing there, and, like, now they have dive suits and shit so that they can go underwater. And so he's like, but I love the they get there to, like, where they, like, dock, and he can see the boat for Yukiko, and he's just like, why didn't anyone tell me that she was gonna be here? Like, we have a mutual respect for each other, but, like, we try not to be around each other anymore. It was just it was a great line. It was pretty good. Like, all of Elian's, like, narration is so good. It's so good.
So funny.
But then you see he meets Lyra, and Lyra looks like she has the octopus tentacles and stuff.
Oh shit!
But
they're
she
not
can
like
change.
gross.
They're not gross. Yeah, she's cool.
Sure.
She's cool. She's a cool octopus.
Like to me, like it kind of seemed like because she still had her tail, so it kind of seemed like it was kind of just blending in with her hair because her hair's super long now too.
Yeah.
So they were kind of just like blended in with her hair.
Yeah.
So they
and
weren't
just like it came out like a gown is how I imagined it. Like they were like stylized to look like a dress.
Oh, I got you. That's cute.
But then when she surfaces and she's out of the water, she is able to change back into her human form.
Yeah.
So that
like the way they describe it is that the tentacles like curl up and like braid together to make her two legs, and then she becomes a human.
It's so cool. It's so interesting.
So
but yeah,
cool.
she just becomes a human, and then they like get to be together, and it's like, oh, this is sweet. This is so nice. And then like he gets to go off, and like he describes it as like the sirens need a queen, so she can't come adventure, but I'll do the adventuring for the both of us. And then he just comes back.
Yeah.
And like
because
he loves the fucking sea.
Yeah.
So
and Midas, his sister, is taking over.
Yeah, his sister is now queen.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's happy.
He's basically the king of the sirens, without being the king of the sirens. And so like,
he's just the queen's boyfriend.
He's just the queen's boyfriend. He's just the cool stepdad that comes around.
Right. Every so often. No one has cool stuff.
But yeah, it's like an overall happy ending.
That's good.
Yeah. Everyone's good.
I'm gonna totally read the rest of this book now.
Perfect.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a good ending because a lot of shit happens and like all the fight is like super detailed, and so it's like fuck Jesus Christ.
I really liked the balance of adventure and romance because it wasn't like heavily one or the other.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing.
Well, because like I feel like the romance was so subdued, like especially compared to the last three books we've read, minus Nancy Drew because there's no romance in Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
But like with the other books that we read, the romance is the only plot point. Yeah. And then there's like
this one had a major.
This one had like
quests,
and it was like, and along the way, oops, they fell in love.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's basically what it was like, which was like, because like they were so. Yeah, realistic. Wow, what is that like? In teen romance? What? But yeah, like it's like they were never focused on the romance because they didn't like Lyra.
They hated each other.
Yeah. Like I think Elin was just like indifferent to her because like he didn't know what she was, but she absolutely like hated him because like he's a human, she's a siren,
and he's the killer.
Yeah, he's a siren killer.
Sirens.
Blah blah blah, whatever. He's got a bad reputation, and she has a bad reputation, but he doesn't know that she is the she that goes along with that bad reputation. So, ciao. But yeah, like it's so much more focused on the quest that like there's no like heavy like specifically romantic moments until you have their first kiss. That's at the end of the book.
Yeah.
So it's like all of their romance moments happen while other shit is happening. So
and
like
it comes together and is important to the solution because she needs to get the crystal back from him, and then like the whole give my heart thing.
So their love story isn't Space Devil. Their love story isn't just this added thing. It's actually important to the story.
Yeah, it's not just
I think a lot of stories try to make the love story very important. But then it only becomes a love story because all the other shit is just, like, nothing.
Because it's a teenage story and all of the romances are like, but this is my world now. This is the only thing that matters.
And, like, I think even though they're younger, I think both of them feel older because they have these important titles.
There's so much political stuff going on.
Yeah. So it makes them feel much older. Like, even though Lyra is technically only, like, 17, 18, she feels much older because she knows that she's going to be queen soon. So she has like a much more responsible like feeling. She knows what she's going to become. They're just mature. Yeah, same with Elin. He like we know that he doesn't want to be king, but he knows that he's going to be. Yeah. So like he makes them feel more mature, so it makes them feel older. So it makes the shit that happens seem more, I don't know. It's just like it doesn't seem as trivial. Like their
Right.
love doesn't seem as like just chill.
They're not just teenagers falling in love in biology class every book.
Yeah. And again, it does help that like they fell in love.
Sexual education biology class.
So angry about that.
I'm sorry, we won't talk about it.
It's so I hated it so much. But why again? Why always biology? It's always biology.
Because sex.
Because bodies or something. But yeah, it's just like, and like them also falling in love over a period of time as opposed to being like instant
2
fall in
days,
love.
yeah.
And like to the point where they actually properly don't like each other at the start and like have reason to not like each
They don't
other.
even meet until like a third of the way through the book.
Yeah, exactly. Which is is unacceptable for most teen fiction because
You have to meet in the first page.
obviously.
What
So
are you talking about?
I feel like that sets this up to make their love story like seem much more realistic, and which makes it much more enjoyable to read. And again, because like their romance,
Because you have that stretched out sexual tension too.
oh, that sexual tension is good. You want that shit. It's good. But, and like yeah, like I said, like any of the romantic moments that they have, which is generally just their banter with each other, happens at crucial moments because it's just their personalities in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
because they're good characters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. It's like if you write a good character, they'll be, more enjoyable
story
to read.
will be good. Because even though my biggest thing with this story was the queen.
Yeah.
She never actually does anything, is my
It's
issue.
true.
So
She
all the tension that she does, all the threats that she just gives the same deal over and over again, and never once does she actually kill anyone.
True.
She makes other people do it for her.
Yeah, we don't ever
She's
see
super
her.
weak as an entity.
Yeah. This is true. Like, I feel like if we saw her kill, like, maybe if, like, in that scene where, like, her sister was, like, begging her to kill her instead of, Kalia, if, like, Lyra couldn't do it and then the queen just kills her
I think
instantly.
Lyra had to do it in that moment
Lyra
because that's
had
how
to.
she learns to make her mother love her, is to kill.
Yeah. Kill things. It's fine. That's what moms love. But yeah, definitely seen her kill somebody. Anybody. It could have been anybody.
I know. It would have made her. She didn't feel like when she came to that midnight, like on the ship thing. Like I totally forgot it because like nothing comes of it.
Yeah, it's just like a weird random visit. Like the scariest part of that is the flesh eater.
Is the
like
flesh
everything
eater.
else is
and he's
scarier.
just like creepy looking and nothing happens.
It would have been cool if like Lyra was like talking to like another one of the crew members, one of the nameless crew members, and then he just dies.
He just like falls overboard.
Yeah, and like it's just
And
like
then she has
cool
to like
do.
deal with explaining that.
Yeah, like what happened?
Siren.
Oh, siren happened. Because it would have been cool if like they were talking, because she was just outside on the deck, and they were just like if she was just talking to this, and she just sees like one of the tentacles just like wrap around and just pull him under.
Pull him under, yeah.
Yeah, just like immediately, like because yeah, I now looking back,
She
like
never does anything.
the queen is like meant to be this terrifying entity, and you're supposed to be scared of her, and I think it does a good job of making you feel scared of her.
I mean, knowing that she's
Until that midnight
the
thing.
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
As well as the queen. I feel like that alone, like, because you're constantly, like, the fear that we need to feel is just, like, Lyra's fear.
Yeah.
And as a mom and being, like, the queen and trying to do everything that the queen wants, like, that's, like, really, like, really all they thought we needed, I guess. But
yeah. Well,
I think it could have made the actual quest tension a little stronger for Lyra's side.
For sure.
Yeah. Because, like,
there wasn't really any tension because like she had that timetable to get the heart, but that never comes back. She gets the threat at midnight, that never really amounts to anything. Like she just kind of gets to do what she gets to follow through with her plan with nothing going wrong.
Yeah. Because like I think it does a good job of making you afraid of the queen
at the beginning.
For sure. But then like like you said, she doesn't do anything. She
just slowly becomes, like, you just see she's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think it's mainly Lyra's fear of her that drives her to do any of this, which is like fine. Like her fear is enough to like propel her forward to like do this, and like it's like we don't know what all of the other sirens have experienced to like fear her just as much, but there's a chance that they just see how the queen treats her own daughter, and that's enough to make them afraid. Like, if that's what she'll do to her own daughter, what will she do to us?
Yeah.
So I can see how that could translate to, like, more fear. I think, like, honestly, this evil queen got it down pat. She did a couple of, like, horrible things to her daughter, and now everyone is afraid of her, so she doesn't have to do anything anymore.
She's just a sociopath. It's fine.
Yeah, that's basically it. Because, yeah, like, she doesn't, like, I'm like...
She doesn't do anything. She just uses other people.
Anything. She just makes Lyra kill a bunch of people, but we don't ever see her kill people. She's just like this
whiny child. Like, she keeps calling Lyra a child, and she's the child. She's
Which
just, like, throwing tantrums.
Which would have been nice. It was just like, who's throwing the tantrum now, you crazy lady? Just bring it back. Just attack her with her own shit.
That's not the point, though.
But yeah, that's the point, though.
You can't come back with the same stuff. You have to be more mature.
Yeah, obviously.
But Elian can yell at her.
Yeah, because he doesn't know. He hasn't done it before, so he doesn't know. Yeah.
So yeah, what would you rate this book?
I'm pretty sure I'd give it a 9. I think I would give it my highest score.
9 out of 10?
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
I haven't finished it. So
of what you read, what would you give it?
7.
7?
Yeah. Only because I haven't finished it, and I had a couple of problems with the beginning, just getting into it, but...
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, 7 so far. Brittany?
Like 8.5.
Nice. This is seriously, like, the best book we've read.
Good.
It was so good. I fucking love the shit out of this book.
I know. A bunch of reviews online are like, so where's the next one?
Yeah, please. Again, I want Yukiko and this other princess that I can't remember her name. I want to see how that... Oh, I would just love that.
I told a coworker of mine I was reading this, and she said she finished it last week. And she's like, I was like, well, how did you like it? And she's like, well, it's really, like, there's a lot of blood and gore in this book.
I love it.
Like, for a YA book. She's like, but it's really good. And I was like, okay.
Nice. Right. Yeah, I like
this. It's just very graphic.
I love this book so much that I'm actually going to properly buy it.
Yeah, I think I will too.
I own it.
Yeah, I got it.
Although I am going to rent the next couple books from the library.
You can borrow mine, you just can't write in them.
Oh, I don't. Well, I do. I just don't. So I highlight things.
Yeah,
I won't highlight.
Yeah, that. Well, you can borrow.
Well, you're going to be reading them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not gonna take me long to read them because I know everything that happens already. So
you still have to read it.
Obviously, but I could be like, oh yeah, this part. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Lol.
Lol. I love this part.
So yeah, so totally recommend reading this, even though we just recapped everything that happened.
You should, even though we recapped everything, you should read it. Because, like, reading it
the prose
is different
is really
from us
good.
It.
The two different point of views are very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Written very well.
They're not the same. They're not the same character who just happens one to write as a boy and one to write as a girl.
Mm-hmm.
They're very distinct personalities. They're very different, but they're also very similar because they have similar things happening in their lives, which is cool and interesting.
Which they come to terms with at the end. They're like, oh, love, because similar
I do love
tragedy.
That, they both have this, like, similar goal, but they both come to it from different point of views, so it changes the way that they, like, the actual writing of their story, like, their point of views, because they're coming to it for different reasons, like, they're doing this quest for a different reason, just changes the entire vibe of each of their chapters. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. It's really good. It's really well written. Really quite happy with this fucking book.
Yeah.
Oh, it's real good. It's real good. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs way up. Ready? Come on.
This is fire.
Explosions.
So, next time, we're going to be reading Series of Unfortunate Events 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about it on Friday the 13th, correct?
Yes.
So we're going to be on a Friday. So July 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't get off of work until 7.
So
So
it's
I
gonna
don't
be
get home
late.
until 7. So it's gonna be a late, which I think is fitting for a series. Unfortunately.
Friday the 13th, late night.
Yeah, late night extravaganza. Because we're also doing 4 books, so it kind of makes sense. We can maybe go a little bit longer because we're gonna have to talk about those books. So it's on a Friday. So don't make any plans. Watch our podcast.
Love ya.
This is your Friday night plan now.
Order some pizza. It's gonna be a long night.
We're gonna go through 1 through 4
And then-
of all this
then
terrible
once we're
things that
done-
happen to these children.
Once we're done, we're gonna watch the show. So tune in.
It's gonna be a 12-hour stream.
Oh Lord.
We're doing it for charity. Charity is ourselves.
The charity is we need
Please donate.
money.
We'll link below.
Please donate. You'll see my bank account information listed below.
This is
Insert
my
money.
PayPal.
Don't take it out.
And PayPal. Please insert funds. Thank you.
Thank
very
you for
much.
watching.
Appreciate all of you. All.
We should have a goodbye tagline, guys.
Oh, we should. We should.
We
cut
should
it
make
up.
that. Okay, give your rest go now. I'm just kidding. Till next time.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, like the end
What is
card.
your YA?
what is your YA, kids? Hey, kids. Hello, fellow youths.
What is happening?
I'm trying here. Thank you, John, for watching.
Okay, I think we're done.
Thank you for tuning in to What the Ya. We
Bye.
will be seeing you next month. Goodbye.
Bye.
Holy shit.